listen, check this jacket out, okay? Let's talk about that, you know? Is that not? Listen, hey, Carrie Joe, we need these, okay? This was fan-made. It was donated as a gift. I couldn't be more grateful. It's pretty stinking awesome.
How are you feeling this week?
You know what? I'm nervous. Rodney Tomlin is back home watching on Racer TV. It's been fun, but this has been a little nerve-wracking, and it's kind of that Rodney's retiring after this year, and this whole time I'm like, man, this is kind of cool. But in the back of my head, Rodney Tomlin, I'm like, maybe you can just keep doing this and we can keep what we got going, but we'll see. I've embraced it, though. It's been good.
Secret sauce right here.
We're trying it. See if it works.
Yeah? Yeah, how you feeling today?
Feeling great. Got a new bike. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Well, I'm feeling it, I guess. I guess we'll see how much I'm feeling it here in just a little bit. I'm excited, a little nervous. I guess just looking forward to finding out how it's going to go.
I think it's going to go good.
It's going to go good, I think.
I have a really good feeling.
I have a really good feeling, too.
Hey, look.
Thanks, bud.
You like this? Factory look. I'm not nervous. I'm ready.
You're ready.
I tell everybody I try to get nervous, but I can't. I never have been able to, but it's a good thing, I guess. So I'll go out there, stress free, I guess. Oh yeah, that's the main goal. Have fun.
Feeling great.
Yeah?
Hey, I'm not used to this Indiana kind of stuff, but I'm ready for it, I guarantee you. Oh, we're shooting for the win. Anything less would be disappointment. Was a little sketchy. I don't know if I may have lost time that last lap. It was so many bottlenecks, so many lappers, but I came through checker flag first. I haven't seen anyone else. They must have had more problems than I did, so I'll take it.
Is the key the strawberry?
I think so.
Yeah?
The strawberries really helped, but I got a little hungry at the end, so I don't know. I need some more stuff in my.
So maybe it was the strawberries, maybe it was the white bike.
White bike? It's not white no more, but this new bike definitely ripped.
How was it?
It was fun. Track's getting pretty good. PM track is going to be nice.
So was you drawing up and it's getting deep?
Some spots are getting deep, but there's always a way around it. Like, there's always fresh track to the left or the right, but it's fun.
I know.
Brutal, to say the least.
That's what you always say.
Oh, man, it was so deep. Normally, when the 4x4 starts lugging in the ruts, you know it's bad. Yeah, I was just out there that last lap. I come around and I was like a minute behind. I was sitting in third. So I just went out and tried to maintain a good pace. I thought there was almost no way I'd catch up, but my last lap's always my fastest. I put my head down. I was riding along and all of a sudden Brandon was in front of me. And I rode with him for just a little bit and then his quad started spitting and sputtering. and he pulled off to the side, and I went around, and I mean, Cody beat me by who knows how long. He was on rails, but I'm happy with the second.
What's up? It was rough out there. Yeah. It was deep. It was fun, but I'm glad it's over. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, man.
I'm tired. My arms hurt. The last lap was like coasting, but the first one's is good. I was ripping pretty good. And then the last lap, it was like, when's it gonna be over?
Yeah, so I take this stick and I beat my dad up with it. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Dad. I love you.
He's got to have a weapon, otherwise you would lose.
It's very true.
But my dad raced, or no, he went out for a few laps to see the track. I'm thinking it'll be not too bad. For that it's good. Yeah, for how it's been, yeah. Okay. Like to be first, but definitely shoot for podium. Okay. Stand it right here.
I was prepared for an ultra mud race and too lazy to take it off.
Hey, you know what?
But hey, if I get roost buckets right here, it's not going to stick. Hopefully, that's the plan, at least.
That's the plan. Okay.
Shout out Twin Air radiator sleeve, multiple uses.
Yeah, you know, it's I've done well here. I have a couple wins here, and you know, I like Ironman, so I mean, it's not Ironman, but same track.
Ironman 2.0.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I'm gonna call it now. Bryson Neal takes P1. First time in I don't know how long Walker Fowler would have lost 3 in a row. Walker Fowler will win the next 3 after this round. Hoosier GNCC, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Second and row number 1 will be on here at the Hoosier GNCC.
the 241 Magna 1 Motorsports Yamaha rider, Bryson Neal, coming in for the checkered flag. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the Hoosier GNCC, Bryson Neal.
Ray, what's up, man? It was gnarly. It's good. True blue Iron, or not Iron Man, Hoosh. True blue Hoosh. Jackie Moon style. I feel really good. You know, obviously, you know, in the last lap you want a little bit of a gap where it's not a nail biter. You come to this creek crossing, the hill climbs, and you know, lappers being stuck in holes. You got a little bit extra time to just pick your way through, and it was nice having that little extra time to work with. When we raced round one, you know, yeah, we won the race, but I wasn't where I was supposed to be still. You know, in every race I went home, and every time I came back, I've gotten stronger, more fit, better, and I'm just, I feel like week to week I just keep improving, so hopefully keep on that trend.
Rodney, you look funny today. No, good to have you, Griff. You know, just got a killer start. It's a good thing I got that figured out, but, you know, just started trying to ride my race. That first lap, there was a lot of lines, and man, the morning chewed it up, and we were all kind of trying to decide if we were going to run big tires or not, and I think a lot of guys chose to run with the standard 2120s, and it was the right choice. That first lap was rough, but then once we kind of started moving around a lot, lines started to develop, and we kind of filled in some of the ruts, and just was riding a little tight. You know, Bryson went from, you know, last to second in a mile like usual, and I was like, okay, well, nothing's changed in, you know, a month. So just was trying to ride good and started making mistakes, and you know, he made a really good line, and I was able to latch on and started applying pressure, and man, just we got into lap traffic, and I felt like I was in a really good position until the 2-lap card came out, and then man, just the wheels started to fall off the bus. Just we kind of, like I said, got into lap traffic. I started getting a little aggressive, went to my head, got back up, caught back up to Bryson. Second I caught him, went back to my head again, upside down under the bike, and just like, well, you know what, maybe we should just bring it home and try to figure out what we missed. So we're getting closer. You know, it doesn't look like we're getting closer, but you know, I feel better about that. And so just like I said, keep our nose to the grindstone. We're healthy, we're strong, and we're doing what we need to do. We're just not quite putting all the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, John was ripping Glotta. Me and him went back and forth a few times. He tagged a tree over here. Pretty much allowed me to cruise him for third, but man, he was on it today. So it was about damn time. Thank you.
Crawfordsville, make some noise for your XC1 overall podium. The 2022 Hoosier XC2 podium.
Are you ready to go? and welcome to America's premier off-road racing championship, the 2022 GNCCs, presented by Specialized, an AM8 National Championship. I'm Rodney Tomlin today, along with Mikey Waynes, and of course, today we bring to you the midway point of this 2022 championship, the Wiseco John Penton GNCC, as a lot of big things are on the line for a lot of riders. One included Walker Fowler, a home state favorite. But will he be able to stop the other home state favorite and hometown boy out of Bidwell, Ohio, Bryson Neal, who currently has the points lead and a 3-race win streak? Can he stay on top? That's the big question for a lot of folks. Plus, the battles that go on for that third-place position, the final podium spot, it is starting to heat up as well, as things are exciting in the XC1. The XC2 also bringing us a lot of excitement. Stevie Harrell's been one to watch out for as of lately. Will he be ready to strike? And is the iron hot today? We'll have to find out in that one. And, of course, great field, great weather. It is a hot one today, probably the hottest race we've seen of this 2022 season. And this racetrack is going to offer its own challenges, as we have had some rain leading into this week's race, and it's also left its mark out there on the trails. Will it hamper our ATVs today in GNCC racing? Guess we're going to have to find out. Find out what the track conditions are like and what these riders can expect. Let's check in with Jared Bolton and our Yamaha track map.
Welcome back to Sunday Creek Raceway for the John Penton GNCC. Tell you, this place, you never know what to expect. We've been dealt crazy deep mud here. We've been dealt crazy deep dust, silty dust. I know what you think. He's going to say there's a little bit of something to everyone. That's not always the case here. There's a mix of faster trail for the bikes. We add in the John Penton section that's a little tough and technical. But by and far, the guys that are really good on this slick, slimy type dirt, they're going to do really well here. A little more open in places, but it's not a wide open Florida-style fast track. Overall, a little more technical here, a little slower. Going to play to those guys' skills, make for some great racing. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Jared. And, of course, the stage is set, and we're ready to go racing. It's the midway point. Can Walker Fowler stop Bryson Neal? They're both on their home turf. Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this. This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo E-Bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Riders today rolling to the line in accordance to points to the first 6 rounds of GNCC racing. And rolling to the line first today, riding aboard the number 241 from Bidwell, Ohio, on a Magna 1 Motorsports backed Yamaha, Bryson Neal. Rolling to the line second today, your defending and 7-time GNCC champion from Roger, Ohio, on the WFR GBC Fly Racing Factory Back Yamaha, Walker Fowler. Rolling third to the line today in points aboard the number 7 from Windsor, New York, on a GBC Fly Racing 9.2 B&R Motorsports back Yamaha, Kevin Feehan. Number 712, he is 4th in points from Waxhaw, North Carolina, on a Pierce Performance GBC Tires Action Off-Road Fly Racing Yamaha, John Galata Jr. He is currently 5th in points. Riding aboard the number 3 from Casca, Pennsylvania, on a JMR GBC Elka Moose Racing Action Off-Road Honda, the Sneaky Snake, Jared McCall. Riding aboard the number 2, 6th in points from Newfield, New York, on a Maxxis Ithaca Recreation Sports WPS Fly Racing Yamaha, Hunter R.
Riding aboard the number 733, it's 7th in points from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania on a Gator Nissan. Kenda Action Off-Road, Richardson Racing Yamaha. Coltrane, Cole Richardson. Aboard the 521. 8th in points from Waverly, West Virginia on an Over Tires, Moose Racing, Parts Unlimited Honda, and on the kick, McGill. He runs 9th in points. Aboard the number 6 from Akron, Ohio on a B&R Motorsports, GBC Tires, Merritt Racing Yamaha, Josh Merritt. 10th in points. Running aboard the number 9 from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, 6-time GNCC champion and 75-time overall winner, Chris Boris. Right on the CBR GBC Action Off-Road Fly Racing Amsoil Pack Drive. The number 703 from Petersburg, Indiana on the Abney Racing Action Off-Road Maxxis Tires Back Yamaha, Austin Abney. Number 15 from Aurora, Ohio on the GBC Fly Racing Factory Back Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. And last and certainly not least, aboard the number 714, the rookie from Pittsburgh on a Bulletproof Door Cinch Graphics Yamaha, Ronnie Rush. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this, the Wiseco John Penton GNCC. Our riders find their way onto the starting line as they pick their start positions here in the closing moments before the waving of the green flag. Before we can get things underway, we got to ask our trusty DJ as he climbs aboard the Yamaha R-Max 1000. DJ Judd, remove the meat. That's right. The Monster Energy Activation Transport, a.k.a. Meat, making its way off the starting line now and clearing the way in the first turn for our host of riders to tackle the woods of southeastern Ohio. Several hundred amateur and youth riders have already taken to the trails today in some of the most challenging terrain that they see with the rains that fell late this week leading into yesterday. Mercy sakes alive, it's made for a challenge for these riders as Ricky Towery finds his way out now into that first turn region. It gets set to orchestrate this symphony of starts that we know as GNCC Racing. 1 minute, folks, 1 minute before we go racing. Ricky Towery making his way down. When we see him next time, he'll be waving the blue flag. That blue flag will signal 30 seconds as well as a dead engine call across the starting line here in Ohio. The blue flag is out. Shut them down, guys. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down. We are now less than 30 seconds away from going racing here in Ohio. And I got to ask you, are you ready to go GNCC Racing? Come on, folks. I know there's not a lot of you out here today by comparison, but I know we are Ohio proud. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go GNCC Racing? Yeah. 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the Wiseco John Penton GNCC. Oh, it's Walker Fowler and Hunter Hart 1 and 2, but Fowler takes the early lead. That is Adam McGill in the number 3 spot to kick things off here. Where is Bryson Neal? Buried about mid-pack as we roll into our second row. XC2 Pro-Am, Jay Shadron, Shane McMillan, Grayson Eller, Brandon Owens. 10 seconds. Kenny Schick, Nick Royalty, Daniel Peters, Chase Allison, Wyatt Wilkin, Dylan Walraven, Steve Harrell, and Tanner Walker. It's the number 12, Jay Shadron from Acme, Pennsylvania on the Action Off-Road Pro Graphics Pierce Performance backed ride. The Vet A30 Plus class. Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens, Brad Whitehead, A.J. Kuntz, James Green, Jonathan Fugate. 10 seconds. John Arnold, Nick Muno, Michael McAvoy, Zach Wright, and John Cunningham. Not sure, that may have been Cunningham. I couldn't quite get the number on that one as we go to our senior A40 plus class now. 10 seconds. Dirk DeCesar, Zach Phillips, Brian Axling, Dominic Minichi, Jeremy Gouchard, Donnie Masters, Chris Conklin, the Marlboro Man, Tom Muscala, Brian Shaw, and Ronnie Varndell. One. Zach Phillips from Parsons, West Virginia on the Kenny Vincent Grenade Coatings Greg's ATV backed ride. College A class coming up next. Keaton Henderson, Cody Forrester, Jacob Fleming, Ian Burns, Dalton Keys, Riley Salick, Nathan Dearborn. 10 seconds. Christopher Howard, Trevor Furby, Ethan Mayer, Tyler Coulter, Alan Daniels, Cody McCauley, Austin Scott, Tyler Cox, John Ashcraft, Lane McCormick, Kai Arbogast, Zach Knight, Chance Hickey, Parker Henderson, Caden Uas, Corey Vanderlein, Lane Felder, Damian Hawkins, and James Guada. It is the 5:17, I believe that would be, or 5:12, I guess it would be, of Lane McCormick, and the 123 Dalton Keys right behind him as they open up 1 and 2. Junior A22 plus class, 10 seconds. Jeremy Ledon, Brady Myers, Bryson Mullahan, Henry Moore, Colton Kashuda, Dason Como, Alex Elioff, Brady Kiner, Toby Hughes, Andrew Hickson, Justin Miller, Frankie Grass, Seth Wilson, Devin Masters, and Caden Ryan. And it's the 99, or actually the 21 of Jeremy Ledon from Glenshaw, Pennsylvania on the Ledon Racing Formula 99 Roost and Walsh backed ride. Vet B30 plus class coming up next. David Kite, Taylor Lazelle, Ryan Simmons, Derek Hart, Dusty Gatos, and Corey Pancake in 10 seconds. .402, Derek Hart from Morgantown, West Virginia, grabbing the lead on his Honda there as we go to the senior B40 plus class. Tim White, Rick Marino, Douglas Bailey, Shane Worth, Jason Rude, Jeremy Van Fossen, Jason Disco, Mike Reiser, Robert Stevens, and Richie McCauley in less than 10 seconds. .411, Jason Disco from Vienna, Ohio, in the J&J Performance backed ride. College B, 16 to 21-year-olds, Michael Worth, Denton White, Andre Williams, Connor Brandt, Gunnar Filler, Caden Lambruno, Alex Gross, Hayden Hunter, Ryan Hendershot, David Witt, Xander White, Gavin Temple. 10 seconds. Briggs Lazelle, Owen Burns, Nathan Fravel, Bryson Bellamy, Evan Osborne, Jeremy Koger, Michael Yadanis, Adam Sapel, Samuel Disher, Evan Grannon, Brandon Douglas, Easton Snyder, Kane Skinner, Ricky Surgeon, and Tavis Dudley. I think at 5:25, Michael Udonis Jr. from Lake Wales, Florida on the HWR GBC Fly Racing back ride. A couple of riders trying to get pulled apart there, and a couple more trying to get going. This Junior B22 plus class set to roll next. Stephen Hainham, Nick May, William Wallace, Jordan Burnett, Aaron Good, Anthony Valor, Hunter Boyle, Dylan Stein, Tyler Baldwin. Also Michael Donston, Trace Furby, Justin Cotter, Paul McCloskey, Sean Newhouse, Leroy Grooms, Noah Howard, and Nicholas Blaney. 10 seconds. '82, Steve Hannum out of Caldwell, Ohio on the Unashamed Racing Pro Graphics backed ride. And that, my friends, I believe brings us to the end of our start as some nearly 200 ATV pilots traversing the hills of southeastern Ohio here on a Saturday afternoon. The midway point of the 2022 GNCC Series. Walker Fowler off to the early lead in this one, but Bryson Neal, a hometown boy himself, bringing into this one a 3-race win streak. Can he keep it going? Can he make it 4 in a row, or will Walker Fowler or someone else step up? Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best.
Hey, I've got a found
Keep
phone.
fighting.
If you happen to have
Put in
lost
the
your
work.
phone, check it out. It's laying on the
take
back.
easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Ben Kelly here, 2021 GNCC champion. Subscribe to Racer X and get yourself a fresh FMF t-shirt.
Live here on RacerTV.com. Mikey Wayne's here, Walker Fowler on screen, and you just heard from my colleague, the voice of GNCC, Rodney Tomlin. Welcome back. Good to have you back, my guy. No doubt about it. This is the Wiseco John Penton GNCC round number 7, and you're looking at on Racer TV at mile marker number 3 here, Millfield, Ohio. Again, round 7 of 13 here in 2022, and the big storyline coming into this one, Bryson Neal, the 3 wins in a row, the 6-point lead on Walker Fowler. Walker Fowler coming into today, only the 2 wins. Well, only time will tell, but we know this. We've got, looking at some XC2 guys rolling through right there. They got Jay Shad out front, but nonetheless, this has been through 6 rounds of racing, an absolute epic season as far as ATV racing is concerned. There is Johnny Gallagher right there, the 15 machine. So some XC2 guys already getting in the mix with our XC1. But nonetheless, you know, let's call it what it is. Bryson Neal's won the last 3 in a row. Can he make it 4 in a row here today? Not the best start for him. You know, about middle of the pack start for Bryson Neal. But we did a little bit of research, and I'm sure you guys at home did some research as well, as far as those what ifs. You know, we did a little Monday morning quarterback, you know, Monday morning GNCC, however you want to put it. We did some speculating, right? We got to build drama. We got to build the story. As you look at the points there, again, Bryson Neal up 6 on Walker Fowler with those 3 wins. If you look in the history books and you go back, you really don't have to go back that far for the last time that Walker Fowler lost 4 in a row. Now, that year, 2020, he pretty well had the championship wrapped up. He didn't race the last 2 rounds. He technically, you know, because not racing, lost those 2, and then the previous 2 to that, which was 4 in a row. Now, if you go back to the last time Walker Fowler was racing and lost 4 rounds, you got to go back. Adam Gordon, chime in my ear, but I think it was 2014. It was 2014 was the last time Walker Fowler lost 4 in a row. And as you know, he took his first championship, I believe, there in 2015. So could some history be, well, not made, but repeated, I guess I should say. But history that we've not seen since Walker Fowler has been in championship form. Rodney and Tomlin and I, we chit-chat with Walker a little bit yesterday, just kind of in passing, and we were asking him about this season and the rise of Bryson Neal here this year and how consistent he's been. And, you know, Walker Fowler was pretty candid and said, you know what, I'm not that 26-year-old pup anymore, and that's the exact age, I believe, that Bryson Neal is. And Walker said that's a prime age. You know, to be completely honest, that's a prime age. You know, so he was giving credit, you know, to Bryson for the success he's had this year, and Walker said it's not getting any easier as the wins and the years go on. It is certainly not getting any easier for Walker Fowler, and he definitely has his hands full this season competing with Bryson Neal. And the other side of that coin is Bryson Neal's got this thing figured out. I think you look at Bryson in years past, and you can point to, you know, situations where Bryson had a lead and he wanted to increase the lead, and hey, I want to win by, you know, I want to demoralize everybody and go out there and get a 2-minute gap in between me and second. And while I'm sure he would still love to do that, there seems to be this sense of maturity with Bryson Neal where he manages his race a little better. He's not always full throttle out there, you know, for the straight 2 hours. He's finding his pace and finding the flow of the track, and, you know, smooth is fast, that kind of mentality. And it has certainly paid off for him here this season. Again, points leader coming into this weekend, and essentially it's a home state race for both of those guys. But essentially hometown race for Bryson Neal, the Bidwell, Ohio, the Bidwell Bullet. So we'll see what he's got in store for him today. Again, not the best start for Bryson Neal, but Bryson Neal hasn't always needed great starts to be right there in contention by the time we get to white flag and especially checkered flag. So going to be a good one. One thing they don't want Walker Fowler to get out front and run away with it. No doubt about that. That's when he's able to really kind of get in the head of the other riders. And speaking of the other riders, hey, there's a lot of other XC1 guys out there that are sick and tired of hearing social media and Mikey Waynes and Rodney Tomlin talk about the Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler show, and you know they're hungry. So you got a lot of guys out there that say we don't want this season to go down as Bryson and Walker getting the only wins. So you know, at what point is somebody else going to step up and become that challenger for a race win, not just a podium but a race win? And you know, we talk, and I'm sure we will end up in this conversation here today as the race goes on of talking about those young guns. You know, the Devin Feehans, your John Glotta Juniors. There is Walker Fowler on screen with your Yamaha Racing Live drone. And how about this? I believe, well, now hang on. Let me get a report. All right, so there's what we signed up for, right? Walker Fowler out front, looked like Bryson Neal in the number 2 spot. From the drone, I could be wrong. That very well could be. John Glotta's been in this situation, but I'm thinking that's a Bidwell Bullet right there in the number 2 spot. We're going to get a little closer shot here in a second, but nonetheless, here we go. Great racing on screen. Yamaha Racing Live drone getting you the shots from the sky as both riders looking good out front as Walker Fowler gets up into the berm, kicks up a little dust, trying to, you know, affect the vision of everybody behind him right now, and just all over the throttle and pushing right now. A good race early in this one. And we're going to get our eyes on it here in just a moment when they come through the finish line, not too far off this pace here. And again, we did have the different starting line. I think that was the starting line we ran for the Burt Oak. I believe that was the one race I missed last year, wasn't able to attend. And but right now, hey, things looking good out front. This is what everybody signed up for and wanted to see out here today. And we got the heavyweight bout going on right in front of us. So going to be interesting to see what the time is. And just the strategy, you know, how long will you sit back there before you want to link up with Walker Fowler and try to make a move? And I think you can just tell by Walker's riding style right now. He's like, I don't want you anywhere near me. I'm going to try and check out, get you away from me. Let me get the rear end of this Yamaha into some of these berms. I'm going to kick up as much dust as possible, and I'm going to try and affect your vision and try to force you into a mistake to kind of give me a bigger gap. And just answering the call right now. Scratch it, Hunter Hart. It's Hunter Hart. Hunter Hart in P2. That's who we got. That doesn't swivel there, Rodney Tomlin. Welcoming Rodney Tomlin back to the booth right here. Rodney, we had, hey, white gear, white bike. I was thinking, you know, it was the show we were all looking for. Now, upon second glance, got a little closer there, and I'm thinking that's Hunter Hart. And Hunter, he goes back, he watches these. He hears every single word Rodney Tomlin and Mikey Wayne say, and he takes it to heart, pun intended. And so he's going to hear that and say, man, you guys, come on. But boy, if
don't you guys be on this one. Thankfully I wasn't.
That was me. That was all Mikey.
Well, I would have fallen victim, I'm sure, just like anyone else. So.
But as you looked at it, you know, I think what am I trying to say? Walker Fowler, or excuse me, Hunter Hart wears that backpack like Camelback, and I think Bryson has got kind of the one that goes around the waist. So I'm guessing that was our difference right there. And it looked like a single digit on the machine. And of course, Bryson running his AMA number this season. But nonetheless, this is where Hunter Hart needs to be, Rodney.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is someplace that Hunter has wanted to be all season long. And we've seen him up there a couple of different times, you know, last year and so far in this season. But things, for whatever reason, haven't boded well for the entire races for him, it seems like. And, you know, I mean, he's had a couple of races that, you know, that he can hang his hat on, I think you could say. But many others that he leaves these racetracks wanting more. And this is the more that he wants. He wants to be out front. He wants to be leading. And more importantly, he wants to be there when the checker flag finally comes out. And that's the important thing. We've seen the early speeds out of Hunter Hart and many different riders, but the consistency of being able to take it home and seal the deal on it is what we're looking for out of Hunter and several other riders. And I think they're right on that verge, the cusp of making that happen. They found the speeds. They're getting comfortable with the speeds, and they're getting comfortable with knowing that, you know, that they want more and they expect more out of themselves, and they're getting comfortable with pushing themselves for more.
Yeah, that nails it. I can let the cat out of the bag now. The guy, you know, I mentioned this on the show maybe last week or the week before, but I mentioned talking to an XC1 rider who we expected to see do better this year, and he and I, we joke around. It's Hunter Hart, right? We joke around, we tease each other all the time, but after the race at Camp Coker, I was like, all right, hey, after the post-race, all jokes aside, I said, what's going on, dude? What's the deal? And he's like, Mikey, I'm right now, he goes, the pace that Walker and Bryson are running out front, he goes, to be completely honest, I'm not comfortable running that fast up there with those guys right now.
And in reality, I think the only person that may be comfortable running that speed is Bryson Neal.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And I'm not taking anything away from Walker. Walker, you know, I mean, in Walker, and I say that because Walker admittedly said, you know, I don't know how much faster, he goes, I don't know how much faster we can go, but he goes, I know I don't want to go any faster.
Yeah. You know, I was talking earlier, you and I, we had a conversation, just a candid in-passing conversation yesterday, and he actually brought up the injury to Ben Kelly. Yeah. And he was like, you know, the older I get, I think he said, 29?
Yeah, he's pushing close to 30
Yeah, he
now.
said, I see that, and I think, oh, I don't want to be in that situation. So, you know, how much am I willing to push it as a professional ATV racer? And I think he's getting that maturity level of, I got some limitations, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and looking back to a year ago, right here at this very round of racing when Bryson Neal had his season-ending mishap.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, that goes to lend itself. And again, granted, that may not be because of the speeds on that particular crash, because it was an incident with a lapped rider that kind of like miscued on Bryson and sent him off the course. But nonetheless, you know, I mean, those at speeds that they're running, you know, it's harder to react to those kind of things. You know, everything is so much more exaggerated. You know, the smallest movement is so much larger at those faster speeds that they're running right now. So, you know, and honestly, you know, in talking with Bryson, he does, you know, to him it just seems natural. It doesn't seem like he's pushing. And you talk to everyone else, and they're screaming, "Murder, man! What's going on here? You're going too fast! Mercy, mercy, mercy!" You know, it's odd to know that the level that Bryson is on and the comfort zone he's in at that level. I mean, and I think that maybe Walker might have pegged it best in that continued conversation after that last night when he said that, you know, I'm 29, he's in his mid-20s, 25, 26 years old. He's at his prime right now.
Yeah. And he said, I know that because that was my prime.
Right.
Yeah.
And he respects that. He knows that respectfully. So being the champion that he is, he's doing everything that he can, maybe recognizing, realizing, and saying to himself, hey, maybe he's got a little bit of an edge because there is about 3 years of youth there, and that's when I was at my best. And obviously it looks like this is when Bryson's at his best too.
Yeah, I mean, at some point it's got to happen, right? I mean, at some point we go from talking about Bill Balance to Chris Borich.
Right.
At some point we go from talking about Chris Borich to Walker Fowler.
Yeah.
Is Bryson Neal going to be that next guy? Now, he admittedly said, well, I don't know about 8 championships because, I think he said I'd make him 36, 37 by the time he's done. But nonetheless, I mean, if Bryson has 3 or 4 good years, I think that puts him in a conversation of one of the elite guys. But
yeah, and
can't count our chickens before they hatch.
Right.
Got to get one first.
And I think that Bryson may hold that, if he puts himself in a championship-winning position, is able to pull off the championship and able to do it a handful of times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, whatever the case may be, regardless of how many he makes, Bryson Neal will always live as one of the great ATV racers of GNCC, just simply in what he's been able to accomplish right now. And if it's 1 championship, if it's 2 or 10 championships, I think he's going to carry as much weight as any. Walker Fowler out front here at the 10-mile marker as he roosted up a little bit of mud right there. And was that Glotta or Hunter or Hart? Yeah, we're thinking Hunter Hart's still out there in that second place position. We'll know a little bit better when we get closer here to the finish line, which we are doing particularly right here, right now, as Hardcore Harvey making his way into the old broadcast studios. Yellow flags are waving, and that means kind of slow down, Walker. You got to get scored, and here comes our second place rider. He is running about 3, and that is Hunter Hart, 3.8 seconds back. So you got it right. Hunter is not going to going to rake you over the coals for this one now.
I have to point something out that should have been a giveaway for me was he had those 2 microfiber cloths hanging off his waist. And I should have known when I saw that's Hunter Hart. That should have been my cue. There is the 241 Bryson Neal.
Listen.
So Bryson Neal's got, your green, I think he runs Moose Racing gear. Back in, where's he at, Rodney?
6th place. Dude, this is the exact way that they went out of the 3rd turn. When they went through the 2nd and 3rd turns and went into the woods, this is the exact running order that I remember. I saw Fowler, I saw Hart, I saw McGill, McClure, Richardson, and Neal right there. And that's exactly the way they are now. Nothing has changed. Devin Feehan is 7th. John Glotta Jr. back in the number 8 spot now out here at the 1-mile marker.
Jeff Harvey, you got a Honda guy in top 3 right now.
I see that. Absolutely. Listen, I swung by. Oh, there you go. I swung by the pits first to double check and see how things were going because I saw the start. I saw him go into Woods 3rd, so we were pretty pumped about that. So absolutely. So hopefully Gator can stay on the gas and stay in that podium spot.
He's due. He needs to turn back the clock. We've had enough of these young guns. He's Devin Feehan and these John Glottas, and it's time for one of them old guys. I can say that because, hey, Adam's not too far off my age. Chris Borich, one of those boys to get up there and say, I'm not done yet, you whippersnappers. I got some left in the tank.
Well, listen, man, they got prime conditions out there, guys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Jeff, Hardcore Harvey, you raced this track this morning. What can these guys expect out of a John Penton GNCC today?
So, I mean, it's fast and flowing. The only thing that I thought maybe trip them up a little bit is there's a lot of G-outs, a lot of G-outs going down into hollows and coming back up out. A lot of bumper banging there when you go into those, and then a lot of just drop-offs and things. But other than that, man, it's flowing, it's fast, and the dirt is perfect, man. It's a great track out there. So there should be no track conditions that has anything to do with the racing today.
Heck yeah! Outside of the fact that some of this mud in Ohio, the best description I heard was, it is like walking or riding through just buckets of Jiffy peanut butter.
Yeah.
Of Jif peanut butter. Not Jiffy. That's Mandela effect. It's Jif. Just Jif. Never Jiffy.
But you know something that excites me about this, guys? I don't know if you're noticing. These riders aren't real far apart right now. 3 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Another about 14 seconds back to 3rd. You got McGill, McClure, Richardson, and Neal kind of close together. So that gap is opening up between 2nd and 3rd. So can Bryson Neal afford to hang back there very much longer, and will things tighten up and get more exciting as we roll through this one? Right now, we are rolling into and through lap number 2. We are at the Wiseco John Penton GNCC, the midway point of the championship season, and more GNCC Live continues after this.
last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency and my recovery.
Canati Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
My name is David Huff. I'm an AMSOIL independent dealer, and we're up here in Millfield, Ohio at the GNCC John Penton race, which is the oldest race on the circuit. And I really enjoy coming up here in Ohio and entertaining the crowd, with my AMSOIL product, as you can see. And we are here to discuss the most popular item up here in Millfield, Ohio, because of the Southeastern Ohio red clay, is Mudslinger. Now I'm going to tell you, mud up here sticks to your shoes and you feel like you got ankle weights on, and I'm going to tell you, it's bad. It's really bad. It's slick, all right? But with Mudslinger, when you apply it to everything on your ATV or your motorcycle except for your seats, hand grips, foot pegs, and brake calipers, and the reason is because you put them on there, you're not going to stop and you're going to come flying off the motorcycle or the ATV. Mudslinger, easy cleanup afterwards if any mud sticks to it, and I say if any mud sticks to it.
Being close to home definitely makes me excited, and it's nice because 45 minutes from the house, so I can go home and see my puppies and love on my wife and sleep in my own bed because, we've been out since, middle part of February. So being able to bring everything closer to home, more up north, more my style of terrain, even though we are across the river in Ohio. I don't like to say that, but yeah, I definitely think it's good vibes here. A lot of family, a lot of friends. It's 521 day too, baby, and you know what that is.
All righty, so Adam McGill, always definitely a lot of joy to watch and listen, and quite the personality, to say the least. As we roll into this one, folks, it is Fowler, Hart, McGill, McClure, Cole Richardson, your top five at the end of one, with Bryson Neal close behind in sixth, Evan Pean in seventh, John Glotta Jr. eighth, Josh Merritt was 9th. Brandon Owens rounding out your top 10, and he was your leader of the XC2 Pro-Am class. Jay Shadron, who got the whole shot in that class, was running 2nd and 11th overall. And then Wyatt Wilkin 3rd in class and 12th overall. Stevie Harrell back there in 13th. Tanner Walker in the 14th place position. So looks like we got some pretty good battles going on in both XC1 and XC2. 5 seconds separating first and second. And to get another 15 seconds back to where you got another couple of riders that are a little closer together in that XC2 Pro-Am. It's kind of mirroring it just a little bit. But right now we wait out here at the 3-mile marker, and that's the guy we're waiting on, our leader, and it is still Walker Fowler. And Fowler is starting now to put some distance, Mikey Waynes, between himself and second place, and I believe that still is Hunter Hart. Hart does check in, but that gap is widening, and all the while, we got to see what's happening back to that 3rd place position. We were looking back to about 15 seconds. I have to think that one's tightening up. And who is in our 3rd place spot now?
That ain't the Gator.
Nope, that's Bryson Neal. And I knew it was time for Bryson to start pulling triggers there, because when he checked in, they were 15 seconds back behind in that pack of riders. He was at the end of that little freight train of riders, and I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before he started clicking them off. There he is up to 3rd, and you have to think how much sooner. We've seen this scenario unfold more than one time, Mikey, and we have been surprised nearly every time how quickly the Bidwell bullet can hit his target.
Well, now is a time where we were talking, hey, where Bryson Neal goes 100 miles an hour for a whole race like back in the day, and now he's learned to pace himself. No, he ain't pacing himself right now. Right? He's going for it. He knows he needs to lock up and be up there fighting with Walker. But I got to think, the one guy out there that feels like he's got more to prove than anybody is Hunter Hart. And Hunter Hart's going to be a very difficult person to pass, because he's just not going to want to let it happen. Going to be interesting to watch, see how it plays out. Did you see McGill roll through there?
I think he came through.
Like 4th.
We just saw a flash of it to 4th. I think that's. So I think he's dropped back to 4th. But then we had a little freight train there, and I think 5, 6, 7. We actually talked to dinner last night. We thought that Jared McClure might find his way on the podium today here. Actually, that for some reason he seemed real strong here.
Yeah, that was my. I got a little fun. I started out betting this kid $20 a race, and his dad comes to me and he's like, "Look, you got to change that to like ice cream cones or something." the kid's like 9. I'm like, okay. So we changed it to ice cream cones, and Jared McClure was my P3 pick for today. So Maverick Smith, we'll see how you fare, buddy.
I think I finally found my volume knob. I might hear you guys now.
There you
I probably cranked you guys up in the process, and I apologize.
It's all right. I'm good.
39 minutes now into this race, guys, and the scenario I think that so many folks were maybe a little disappointed about at the end of lap number 1, thinking something's wrong with Bryson. He's hanging back there in 6th, but like I said, this is nothing new. We've seen this before. That first lap, it's just kind of like a hunt and peck type thing, and then somewhere in that 2nd, 3rd lap, things just get turned wide open for Bryson Neal, and that's exactly what it appears to have taken place so far, as we wait now here at the 3-mile marker for other riders to check in. But can't wait to see the next time we see these leaders in Fowler and Hart, and now Bryson Neal. It'll be interesting to see what that gap is, number 1, between Hunter Hart and Walker Fowler, because remember, guys, that has opened up quite a bit. It was like 4 seconds when they came through the finish line. It was about 15 seconds whenever they came through there at the 3-mile marker. So Walker clicked it up a gear, and as did Bryson Neal, obviously. So he's kind of like stuck in the middle. We could tell that Bryson had made up ground because he came around a lot quicker than 15 seconds behind Hunter Hart. So this is going to get interesting once and if Bryson Neal can get around Hunter Hart. How quickly and can he catch Walker Fowler today?
I think the biggest thing with Bryson is just in talking to him and kind of getting to know him a little better, is the big factor is from a year or two ago, he might go into a little bit of panic mode in the past where he would push a little too hard and then just kind of make more mistakes. And right now when you talk to him, he's got the confidence, which he knows he's approaching these more strategically, and he knows he's going to settle in. He can set a pace in which if he knows he's gaining ground, he doesn't have to gain it all at once. He can gain it over a lap and a half. Then on the other side, you got Walker out there thinking, okay, I gotta stop the bleeding here.
Yep.
So Walker's on another mental level right now too about today. So these two guys have got a little mental game going as well as what you're seeing on the racetrack.
And you have to think that Bryson, whether he's trying to be or not, the fact is he is in Walker's head right now, and he is playing that game, or that game is being played in Walker's head. Now, whether or not Bryson is doing anything about it, I think the fuel from that fire actually comes from the quietness that Bryson gives us. You never hear anything. You never hear Bryson gloating. You never hear him making excuses. You never hear anything from Bryson. Bryson shows up to the racetrack. Bryson goes home, and that's all you know. Then Bryson shows back up to the racetrack, wins the race, and then goes home. Nobody knows. There's such an unknown variable. There's such an unknown factor there, and I think as much as anything, that might play a head game within it, because if that guy is messing with you, if he's talking to you, then you can respond, and maybe you can get back under his skin. But Bryson isn't giving that opportunity any whatsoever.
Yeah, it's interesting, Bryson. Jeff and I, we talked to him when you had him on the show, and I asked him very pointed, hey, when you were hurt, what was the mental hurdle like? Because you have guys like Mikey Waynes and Rodney Tomlin and everybody on social media that's like Walker on screen right now, but everybody's all Bryson, Bryson, Bryson. I said, you get hurt, and suddenly, because it's our job to talk about guys like this out in front, now Rodney's not talking about Bryson Neal. Mikey's not talking about Bryson Neal. Jeff Harvey on his show is not talking about Bryson Neal. What was that battle like? And he kind of sighed, and he's like, and here's our battle.
He's all over him.
Well,
I think it's already.
And Bryson for the pass.
Saw that one coming.
Actually, almost looked like Hunter kind of pulled over just a little bit to let him go. Let me hook up with you. I think Hunter's going to try to pace off of Bryson and pull him to the front. Yeah, let's go get him.
And you got to respect that out of Hunter, because Hunter realizes, as fast as he is, he can't get fast by trying to slow somebody down behind him. He's got to learn, and the only way he's going to learn is to ride behind these guys. How are you going to ride this pace, this speed that Bryson Neal is running? You got to be behind him to see what's happening, and the thing is, you got to stay behind him.
Yes, he's pulling him already. Wow. He is on rails right there. He's pulling away from Hunter, and and you're talking about Hunter. Hunter's running the pace, so that means B. Neal's in another gear right now.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, I don't want to say it's demoralizing, but I mean, you have to think whenever you're riding out there as hard as you can, you think you've got this, and then you've got a guy that does this. I mean, you have to wonder, what's he doing different? What's so much different about his package than mine that's making his ride go like that?
Go ahead. I can tell you from experience that is a huge mental game with yourself, because you're like, you know what? I should have trained Wednesday. I didn't train Wednesday. Now, and you start questioning everything you do about your preparation, your bike setup, your physical conditioning, and you just kind of try, what am I doing wrong that I can't stay on the pace?
I don't think you can prepare for this. I don't think there's any way that you can prepare for this other than to go out and ride as hard as you possibly can, and to watch him skim across this terrain. I mean, you see a little hop, a little bounce. Folks, if you were ground level right there, Harvey, that is some rough terrain right there.
Yes, it is. There's stutter bumps right there, because that's where everybody brake checks coming in and out of the corners. So, I mean, that is, if you're not on the gas on top of that, it's brutal to go over that at a slower speed. So, obviously, Bryson is just very tipping the tops of those
Is that Walker Fowler right there?
No, I believe that's
Bryson now.
Looking at right
I was going to say, has he already reeled him in? Okay, and that's Hunter back there.
Back there.
Yeah, okay, so.
Interesting observation. Take one, Mark Hyde helped call the Sunday race for this last race at the Hoosier, and he was talking about Ben Kelly, and how if you watch Ben Kelly in these big open sections, he doesn't always stay in what looks like on TV the line.
Right.
You got to think those lines were developed by your B and C riders throughout the day. I think we're seeing some of that both from Walker and Bryson.
Absolutely.
Especially in those big open sections. They're working the track inside, outside, and they're not creating, they are creating their own lines within the rules, of course.
And it's a lot smoother, Mike.
It's smoother,
It's a lot smoother. 9 seconds, 12 seconds now.
We had 10. Yeah, right? I did. Come on. I did. I gave it to Harvey. I gave it to Harvey Count. Well, 10 seconds is trademarked, though. That is Rodney Tomlin. So we had to do something different.
Yeah. So we're in that 10 to 12 second difference right now, and I can tell you, it's going to change every turn. It's going to change everywhere right now as we roll through the pits. Nobody thinking twice about stopping right now. It is the number 3 of Jared McClure up to third place position.
Do it for Dale.
Yep.
Do it for Dale.
That's right. So, man, the big changes
And
there. There's Glada back there.
Glada-
6th, 5th place, 6th place, something like that.
5th.
Okay.
So we've dropped Adam McGill. We've dropped Cole Richardson somewhere. Unless I think
that
we missed someone in between the camera shots. And a couple riders into the pits here. Let's see. Josh Merritt. Is it business as usual so far? Looks like it.
Oh, Adam McGill's off the bike.
off the bike, and he's looking.
Yeah. So McGill's the one that we lost, it looks like. Man, what a heartbreaker for this rider right here. As he's getting back on it. I mean, it was just a quick look to see what was going on, but evidently, Harvey, it's something that is. He's going back.
He's going back.
He's going back. So he's not satisfied. He looked at it, didn't see anything, but he knows there's something there. He's going to take the extra time because he's going to lose more time. You know, you question sometimes, is it worth making that stop to make that adjustment? Yes, you lose time, but the amount of time you lose with the issues that you have, and or even maybe present yourself with a possibility of braking and not finishing the race, the extra time that you spend can be monumental as far, but it also can pay huge dividends because it can get you back on the track and it can get you to the finish line.
And you know, most of the time when you guess yourself, hey, can I push it? Can I make it? Listen, 9 times out of 10, you should have just taken a little bit of time and figured out what was. Like he made an adjustment there, so he could end up saving positions on the day just by eating up 45 seconds there to get something out of his brake rotor or something in his caliper or whatever the case might be.
Right, and it's amazing just the little tweaks and changes that can just change a rider's comfort zone and comfort level, I guess I should say, on the day of racing. And with the changing conditions, what might be good in one part of the day and the race might actually change throughout, or there might be part of the course you're set up for and part of the course you're not set up for, so you got to try to find that happy medium.
Absolutely. The big factor here, I think, Rodney, is just the elevation change in the short, down in the hollow, back up the other side, and then going down trails. There's a lot of what you call G out, which is a real steep. You take your nose in, you pop right back out the other side, almost like on a 45-degree angle, and you can really get yourself in a pickle. Hitting that too fast and jacking, endo the quad right there, or tear a front bumper off, or break a frame. So this track has got a great flow to it, but there is a lot of that kind of stuff out there.
Well, I know there was several hundred of riders out on the track with you guys today. I seen a lot of quads coming out. They look like they had found some nasty sections of track, muddy sections of track. Is the track itself in some of those areas pretty chewed up? Or?
Yeah, so lap 1, it was super greasy out there. There was a lot of wet spots. There was a lot of places where you had to pull your roll-offs in it when you're racing in a train with the guys in your class. But honestly, after lap 1, a lot of that stuff kind of was thrown off, and it really tacked up nice laps 2, 3, and 4. And by lap 4, we were kicking up dust.
Yeah, and very dusty on the start, I noticed as well, as we wait here now at our next pickup point, our Yamaha live drone, as we are now approaching 50 minutes into this race. Working on lap number 2. If you do the math, we are about 5.5 minutes or so out from the completion of our second lap of racing. It might be a little bit longer, but not much longer before those guys get in. But we're looking at that first lap time right around the 27-minute mark. So let's see if they can. Speaking of paces, the pace that Walker is laying down right now in the early part of this race, very blistering. And right now, you wonder what's going on in the McGill pits. What did Adam do? Well, let's check in with Mikey Waynes to find out.
Hey, thanks, guys. Down here with Mark McGill, the mustache, which is now the goatee. Mark, talk to us, dude. What's going on with Adam McGill's rig right now?
Oh, he's complaining he has no brakes. I don't know why. Brakes are for what they say about brakes, don't you? Well, we put tires on. I don't know what else he wants.
It sounds like he's good to go then.
Well, everything's round.
Everything is round.
Everything's round roll.
Are you guys seeing where Adam McGill gets his sense of humor?
From his mom.
All right. On that note, before Mark and I get in any more trouble, we'll send it back to you guys.
Oh, so it sounds like a rear brake issue there for Adam McGill.
It does. I tell you what, though, man, mustache is hard on him.
Yeah.
He shows no mercy to the Gator.
None whatsoever. And those two are an awful lot alike. They really are.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe they get along as well as they do, as much alike as they are.
I tell you, people don't even really know the half of it. Just having the opportunity to be around the garage down there with them so much is the interaction between them. That could be a reality TV show right there.
Adam McGill is a reality TV show waiting to happen, as far as I'm concerned. You don't even have to be an ATV lover. Just watch Adam, and you're going to be entertained, I think, from start to finish, no doubt about it. About less than 4 minutes now. Last time we came around, it was Walker Fowler and Hunter Hart, Adam McGill, Jared McClure, Cole Richardson, Bryson Neal. Those were the top 6. There were 4 seconds separating Fowler and Hart. We thought, wow, we got a good one going on there. Then another 15 seconds back, and you were wondering what's going on. Why is Bryson Neal hanging back there the way that he is? And Jeff, I tell you, amazing what 25 minutes can do in a person's life. It can change the face and the focus of the way everything looks out here, man.
Well, right now, all B. Neal probably is trying to do is get a glimpse of Walker, and then that's kind of an adrenaline. That's kind of a shot of adrenaline when you see a guy, you see a glimpse of his helmet, and kind of gives you that little burst of energy to go ahead and try to reel him on in. So, I think
then when you do reel him in, if you show him a wheel, Well, there's Walker Fowler now. So we got Walker on the Yamaha Live Racing drone. He is out of that field section now. And back into it. Headed to the finish line now. Last turn there for Walker Fowler Hardcore. And 27:08, call it 27:09 basically on lap number 1. Lap number 2 is a 24:59. So it's a little bit quicker, almost, just a little over 2 minutes faster, just under the 25-minute mark. Your second place ride of Bryson Neal.
There he is.
Finally checking in. 14.4 seconds. So that was the gap between second and third at the end of lap number 1 now, as now our third place rider checks in. That is Hunter Hart, now 9 seconds behind Bryson Neal. So still's got him somewhat in sight. Now the big question is, we lost McGill there. Where's McClure? And where is Cole Richardson right now? And what about Devin Feehan? How's things faring for those boys?
I tell you, almost looked like from the time we counted them coming through the pits, and I realized we didn't have an official counter, but it was about 10 seconds, and then coming through the finish line was 14 seconds.
Yeah.
So Walker might have, kept the fire lit there and at least kept the gap the same.
Oh, I got to tell you right now, Walker's getting the word that he's coming, and Walker right now is not relinquishing any speeds. If nothing else, he is pushing it and pushing it as hard as he can. And if he can, and especially if he starts getting the word that, hey, you're pulling on him, you're separating away, that's going to be an inspiration for Walker. And that's what he's going to have to look to for inspiration, because as soon as and if
there's
Bryson,
a sneaky snake.
Yeah, and Bryson Neal can reel him in, show him a wheel, or at least let him hear him back there. That's going to open the door for mind games to start happening. So
Absolutely.
Walker right now is doing everything he can to keep that from happening.
Yeah, because I mean, mentally, if B. Neal goes another lap and he can't get him in sight. I mean, so that's also affecting Bryson.
Bryson, all of a sudden, exactly. Very good point. And we might start to see that happen. And then we talked about the maturity and how he doesn't take those unnecessary chances. Will that force him into it? It's hard to think, and it's hard to judge. I mean, Bryson was kind of close to this position a year ago as far as the championship points race was concerned, but didn't have quite the handle on things that, with a 3-race win streak coming in, 4 wins on the season, and a 6-point lead. I mean, even though that doesn't sound like a lot, I think that's probably about as much as Walker Fowler's ever been led in championship points.
I agree, for a long time.
Yeah.
And I tell you, we're talking to Bryson too is one of the things that I think Bryson and Walker both are doing right now is, in a lot of the interviews that they've done with you guys, with other guys that have shows on the internet and stuff, is there's kind of this theory that the first one of them to finish off the podium may be giving away the championship.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Bryson Neal is Walker's gotten at least first or second. Bryson has 1/3.
That's correct.
Wouldn't surprise me if that couldn't be the difference at the end of the championship season. Well, it's Fowler leading Bryson Neal by 15 seconds, separating those two. Another 10 back to Hunter Hart, and nearly 30 seconds back to Jerry McClure in fourth. Devin Feehan in fifth. Richardson, Glotta, Merritt, McGill now in the number 9 spot as they're still waiting on him to check in, I believe. Actually, it's Brandon Owens up to the number 9 spot. Jay Shadron now rounding out the top 10. Mercy, can Bryson Neal reel in Walker Fowler? Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
USMCA has been connecting riders to certified coaches since 2016. There are over 300 active certified coaches on motorcyclecoaching.org, and we recently launched our new mobile app, making it easy to connect with a coach and book your next training session. So here's what you do. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app, then search for coaches and upcoming classes. Once a training session is booked, riders have the option to pay for their class and even get a calendar reminder that will automatically sync to their phone. Get connected today.
This week in Yamaha history. It was May 10th, 2008, and the hills of southeastern Ohio were alive with race legends like William Yoakley, Matt Smiley, Brian Baker, Ohio's Brandon Summers, Taylor Kaiser, Chris Bithell, and many, many more. Conditions were near perfect this late spring day as Ohio and Yamaha rider Brandon Summers got off to the early lead. Midway through lap 1, however, after lots of lead changes, the defending champion, Bill Balance, had taken the Big Blue Machine to the front of the pack. But Adam McGill was close behind and would take over on lap 2. After dropping to third on lap 2 and only 2 seconds off the leader, Balance set out on a mission to take the win. A late race charge by Adam McGill, closing a gap of 15 seconds down to just 3 seconds on Balance, was not enough. All the glory went to Balance that day as he celebrated his 64th of 67 career wins on his way home to the 9th and final championship. And that's this week in Yamaha history.
I tell you, Ohio certainly notorious for its sticky mud.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
OnTrackSchool.com. Check it out.
Brown's RV Superstore is family-owned and operated and stake their reputation on offering you the finest RVs available in their McBee, South Carolina RV dealership. Brown's RV Superstore carries motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers, and keep a huge inventory of new and used RVs in stock for you to choose from. They offer top dollar for your RV trade-in and help you get the RV financing you need. As a part of the GNCC family, Brown's RV Superstore, in partnership with Vengeance Toy Haulers, offers sponsorship packages for every level of racer with discounts and continued savings on your new toy hauler. Brown's RV Superstore has dedicated themselves to complete customer satisfaction, specializing in providing a positive start to your RV adventure. They look forward to customers coming back to share their tales from the road. Call Brown's RV Superstore today at 877-805-3658 or visit their website at brownsrvsuperstore.com. where family fun begins. Well, folks, each and every year as we get set to head to Snowshoe Mountain, a tradition as long-lived nearly as the race itself on Snowshoe Mountain is Yamaha University. It's an opportunity for GNCC racers to go and learn the skills they need to be better GNCC racers, and it takes place right there on Snowshoe Mountain with some of Yamaha's greatest racers, including Walker Fowler, including Mark Notman, who is a part of the Yamaha crew, and including many others, Randy Hawkins, Stu Baylor, and so many more. Be sure and get a hold of our friends there at Snowshoe Mountain Resort and reserve your seat in GNCC University School. Back here at Millfield, Ohio, and the 241 is closing the gap up. Bryson Neal in the number 2 spot as he lays chase to Walker Fowler, Rodney Tomlin, and of course Hardcore Harvey here with us, and Mikey Wayne's out and about in the pits, and Harvey there is now Hunter Hart checking in with us, and that's our top 3 that have checked in here. Mile marker number 3. Not much of a surprise, I don't think, after what we've seen so far, but a little bit of that gap maybe chipped away, but Walker's doing a great job of still keeping a comfort zone there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Walker right now is thinking, just keep out of sight, because he knows from being in that same spot how tough that is when you can't reel the guy in and, make some contact with him, that he can do that. Then that keeps Bryson Neal thinking, do I need to start taking some chances? And then you have to wonder, at what point does Bryson start thinking, listen, whatever you do, make sure you at least finish second,
right,
and stay in the championship hunt.
Well, right now, 5-lap race is what we've been told. So, we were wondering a few moments ago, will it go 4, will it go 5? And with doing the math and the way things they are expecting this race, and obviously the speeds that which the leaders are at, they're going to come a little shorter than what we would like for a complete race. So obviously we're going to run at that extra lap. Now, what that does translate into, Harvey, is the fact that it's going to be a little bit longer. And another thing that we got to take into consideration with that being said is the fact that today, I know we've said this a couple of times already, this may be the hottest day of the season so far, but here we are, and we've reached that point once again. And this is southeastern Ohio, and a lot of you folks say, well, what's so different about that? Well, it feels almost like summer already because the humidity is what we are dealing with as much as anything right now.
Absolutely, man. When we came in and if we got the white flag, if we'd have got the 2-lap cart instead of the white flag, it definitely would have impacted, how things would have ended, because, it's just that 5th lap for some reason, so much can happen. If you're in B. Neal's position right now, you're probably thinking the longer the race goes, the better. It gives me more opportunity to reel in. If you're Walker, you're thinking, man, 4-lap would be great right now.
Absolutely. So I know Walker may be a little disappointed. Bryson may be a little bit more satisfied in this one right now. It's funny how that all works out. The rest of the field, though, you got to wonder, how are they going to feel about it? Hunter Hart back there, he's got a good ride going on. Jared McClure, a good ride, but, he wants more out of this. He just is, for whatever reason, he's not been able to get the he's gotten a couple of good results, but he's not gotten the results that he wants to get this year. So, he's another rider that might think an extra lap might play into my favor as well, giving the young guns like Hunter Hart a chance to run themselves out and maybe into a mistake or something along those lines.
Absolutely. Is that the Gator?
I think it is. So
he may have moved up a little bit. Is that possible? Did we just miss a couple guys?
Well, we missed a few guys. Actually, Adam is 12 in the overall. When we look at time scanned here, let's see, is he behind Wilkin? Actually, he's still physically ahead of Wilkin, and he's still physically ahead of Jay Shadron, and still physically ahead, or was, Brandon Owens when he came through the finish line there just a few moments ago. So, and we saw,
I mean, there was like 1 or 2 riders that checked in at the pits, I believe.
Josh Merritt, and then Adam stopped because of a brake issue. But other than that, no one else stopped.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, the idea of a pit strategy may be kind of out the window there for some of those riders now. So, you know, had these guys known maybe a little bit earlier that it was going to be a 5-lap race, that would have been interesting to see whether they would have pitted early or they would have pitted later. But Harvey, you could probably answer this question as well as anyone, but from what I understand, these ATVs generally can run somewhere in the neighborhood of nearly 90 minutes, about an hour and a half on a tank of fuel, right?
That is absolutely correct. And then you start messing with that hour and 40, and then you start wondering, that starts getting in your head too, like, can I push it back to the pits, or do I need to stop this lap? You know, if you remember back at Coker, I think it was, there was some pit strategy went on where Bryson stopped for just a splash of gas and go, and then he and Walker got tangled up there coming out of the motocross section after that pit stop.
Yeah, and that strategy paid off. And look at this, I'm telling you, that gap is closed up. We're closer to 5 or 6 seconds now physically on this racetrack as we check in at the 6-mile marker here at
I'd really like to see Hunter Hart close that up and make it, get all 3 of them up in
right. That would be a good one. There's no doubt about that. But Hart, man, sees that gap opening up. That's probably pushing 20 seconds. No, that's not Hart. So that gap's even bigger than what we thought it was going to be. So there is Hunter Hart on our Yamaha live drone. I sure hope that's who I think it is.
Well, I know she's walking up. She gave me the quiet side.
So. A beautiful day out here, no doubt, and beautiful, great racing as Walker Fowler. Now, looking at this, I mean, if you're watching it on the live drone, it looks like Walker's got this all in the bag, Harvey. I mean, you think,
actually, it looks like kind of a typical Walker Fowler race where he's kind of led and just kind of been in control.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's how. I think that's not how it's going to play out in terms of those two at least getting together and battling.
Okay, so Walker getting in some lap traffic. Man, he goes zooming by that with no problem, no doubt. And a little glimpse here, a little glimpse there. I'm not sure exactly where B. Neal sits in this scenario right now, but yeah, I mean, honestly, Walker doesn't appear to be pushing it. He doesn't seem to be riding the ragged edge. That just looks like a normal in the flow and in the zone Walker Fowler racing right now.
Well, he could also be thinking, hey, listen, I'm right here, and until he catches me, I'm going to ride this pace here, and then if I need to turn it up, I can. And if I don't, then I'm going to stay in control right here and not take a lot of extra risk possibly. But I think he's going to have company soon.
Yep. Bryson saw him very well in that section of racetrack right there. And he's going to see him again here. And you know what that means? Walker sees him as well, Harvey.
Yep.
So at the same time, the inspiration that we were talking about earlier for Bryson Neal now becomes maybe a deterrent for Walker Fowler as he feels and sees that Bryson Neal is closing that gap now from that number 2 spot.
And I think, you know, again, Bryson talked a lot about, you know, this race because, you know, getting hurt here last year, that, you know, there was another added thing here for him just to kind of overcome this track and get back and be successful, you know, after taking the crash he took and being ending his season with an injury here. He's got a little different motivation as well, just besides the championship.
Absolutely. And you know, right now, honestly, I mean, to think about it, Bryson Neal may be in the best seat in the house right now as far as this race is concerned, because he doesn't have too much pressure on him because he doesn't have to fend anyone off. And at the same time, you know, a second would be a strong and solid finish for him. So he can walk out of here, still have the points lead, and have his head held high. But for Walker Fowler, you know, it might be a little bit more of a sense of urgency, maybe to stop this win streak. So it might be a little thicker in his head right now. As Neal is in the pits, he stops. Walker is in and out now. So let's see what kind of changes. Fresh pair of goggles, some water down the back, and a fresh water bottle in the mouth, and there he goes. It was, I don't want to say an extended pit stop, but that looked like a full tank of gas.
It was. It was a little longer. Maybe they're thinking if they do that right now, they won't have to take a splash of gas for lap 5.
Absolutely. And you never know when these conditions what can happen out there, because if you happen to get stuck in one of those soft, swampy areas, that could cost you a lot of fuel as well as a lot of time at the same.
Well, we start, we're beginning to see them mix it up with some lappers too, and there is a couple places out there on the track where there just isn't anywhere for someone in front of you to go, and it's not that they're trying to hold you up, it's just a couple tight sections that it doesn't allow for another line. So if they catch a lapper in a strategic spot, that alone could close the gap between Walker and Bryson, just that.
Well, Mikey, pit stops are happening now, and 5-lap race, so I assume everybody's going to be stopping on this this one. No senses of urgency. Our top 3 have just checked in as Hunter Hart now checks out of that pit stop. Things are starting to tighten up back there to the number 3 spot.
Jared McClure coming in.
That's your 4th place ride.
I still think you're going to see Jared McClure in the mix, at least for the 3rd place spot by the time this thing's over.
Yeah, I have to tend to agree.
He does seem to get stronger later in the race for some reason.
And again, that's kind of how his nickname came about, because he would seemingly come from nowhere, sneak in on these guys, you know, and that's where the Sneaky Snake name came from. And you're right, Harvey, we could very easily and likely see that happen here today.
Devin Feehan into the pits.
I know they all got to take water because it's hot. I mean,
no doubt.
There's just that could be more important than goggles, honestly.
Yeah,
is getting some water.
Yeah, these guys today. I mean, I don't think there's any way that you could have prepared for it. I mean, even the guys that train down south and in the heat. The only saving grace that I think that we've got going on is, if you notice, there is a bit of a breeze that blows every once in a while, and if it not for that, this could be a very unbearable day for a lot of folks around here.
Yeah, the humidity was a big factor. I mean, just coming in after the race, just sweating,
sticky.
Just can't get away from it.
Still headed down through the pro pits right here, folks. Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart, Jared McClure's checked in, Devin Feehan is in. Have we seen Cole Richardson in and out yet?
Did not.
I don't think so.
So Richardson, last check, was only a couple of seconds behind Devin Feehan, so he may have snuck in and out. No, that would have been him. He's over at the Magnum. No, he's not. Where is?
He'd be the Teely interchange.
Okay, so he is in the Teely. So yes, I think I did see someone stop at the Teely.
So yeah, I think you're right. Now that you do say that, Rodney, I do remember seeing it.
So we did have Cole Richardson in, and then John Glotta in 7th, Josh Merritt 8th. Then we've got the battle going on between the XC2 riders, guys. There's only 3 seconds separating 1st and 2nd right now. Brandon Owens and Jay Shadron, whenever they checked in to the finish line, had a whale of a battle going on right there.
Well, we talked a little bit about that, Mikey, that at some point, B. Owens is probably like, hey, enough is enough here, Jay Shad. We're going to at least make a race out of the Penton. So I'm sure Brandon. Plus, this is kind of a home area for Brandon.
Yeah,
also.
you're right.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of fans here. I saw a lot of family and folks with him earlier today.
Brandon, a good kid, and a lot of folks expecting some big things out of him. Is right now, I mean, he's just kind of learning the game and really getting this consistency and maturity under his belt. And I have to think, with some of the glimpses of greatness rides that I've seen him ride, that he could be a factor in the next handful of years up there on that front row. Folks enjoying the countryside and also enjoying being mud fleas out there, I guess. There's one of those soft spots you were talking about, Harvey.
Yeah, I've been there. I've made that same mistake. Uh-oh.
Help him out.
And here's something funny. Tell us a little bit about this. I mean, we look at this, and looking at it, you think, oh, that's no big deal. That's just a little bank you go up. But look how, I mean, it looks like that would be tacky mud, but it doesn't appear to be. As he spins up, it looks to be pretty slick.
So the thing you deal with that you don't realize is down at the bottom, those rocks get wet during the race, and when you come across there, you just pick that up on your tires, and then everybody just keeps slopping it on the hill climb as you're going up, and that what would be tacky normally turns into pretty slick. And that rock section down there is tough to navigate.
Slicker than a mayo sandwich, is that what you're saying?
Hey, listen, credit where credit's due. Stole that from our buddy Wes Kane. So, but yeah, I did ATV MX this last weekend. We had a rainstorm, came out for Pro Moto 2, and I beat
until it was like a dead horse. It's slicker than a mayonnaise sandwich. Then when the rain cut loose, I said, it's a double mayo sandwich out here. Apparently they liked it because they were commenting, who was the crazy guy in the booth talking about mayonnaise sandwiches? But that's a mayonnaise sandwich right there.
Yeah, that's it. That explains it. Out the 10-mile marker right now. We're still waiting on the leaders. Now, what kind of effect is this going to have on these guys? Now, they're off the trail right now, but they are, riders are clogging up the different lines, so the line choice is going to be limited.
Yeah.
And any mistakes could be critical here, especially if you're in one of those front two positions right now.
He finally gets up and going, so there's one more line created.
Keeping an
I was going to say, judging by the way that guy was running, I thought maybe we were going to see Walker Fowler flying through there with Bryce and Neal on the tail, but not quite yet.
Nice crowd gathering down. I think this is the old X-Holler area, if I'm not mistaken, that lower area down below the start. A place on this property where a lot of things, a lot of history have taken place down through that little gorge right there.
Oh.
A lot of big names have raced through there. I remember watching Scott Summers and Rodney Smith and Shane
Watts.
Shane Watts. I remember watching those guys. Barry Hawk on the ATVs. Chad Duvall.
Yep.
William Euclid.
I've raced down here on days where it's been pouring the rain down here, and this is real interesting in the middle of a downpour. You almost have to go on down there's Walker Fowler.
Yeah. Fowler making his way in. Now we saw some amateur riders having some issues getting up that section. And that's not a short section. I thought that was, ooh.
There he is.
That's a little tighter, guys.
Yep.
It's not on the rear grab bar, but I'm putting within 10 seconds easy now.
It's getting there.
So we saw it, what seemed like it was a little tighter. It stretched back out to 15 and closing back up now.
So we did get confirmation it will be a 5-lap race.
It will be a 5-lap race.
Oh, these poor guys. I hate that we're just in here in somewhat cool temperatures calling this race, but no, hey, they're still going to do it. So what's the strategy, Jeff Harvey? If you're on the ATV, 2-lap cards coming out, you're thinking, oh my God, you got to be kidding me! We're not going to do 4, we're going to do 5. If you're Bryce and Neal right now, do you make a move now to try and get out front, or do you play patient and wait for that white flag?
Actually, we talked about that before you came back in.
Oh, see, I missed it. I was busy.
No, before you came back in.
Sorry.
What we talked about was that, Walker's thinking, hey, a 4-lap race, I could stay out front, be easier for me to hold on for 4 laps. And B, Neal's thinking, hey, 5 laps gives me a whole nother, 10 miles to make a move. I think you're going to see Bryson try to make a move this lap, honestly.
I'm sick of eating dust. I'm sick of getting taken roost.
Well, we also noticed, Rodney and I noticed that B. Neal took a little longer pit stop.
Yeah.
We think maybe he took a full tank of gas instead of, maybe just a splash of gas.
Okay.
And because if you remember, we talked about Coker, that they did a splash and go that one race on lap 5.
Yeah.
So this may be playing out the strategy. You may see it unfold right here.
That's a good point.
So FMF PowerPoint 1 mile marker, Fowler and Neal through 6 seconds apart. 6.069 is the official gap as they came through the finish line. Scoring terminal there just a few moments ago, and just a mile or so down the trail farther. It appears to be about that same deficit now. So you look back to the 3rd place position. 1 minute and 17 seconds has opened up to the 3rd place position of Hunter Hart. And still no sign of 4th place as we're waiting on McClure, Feehan, or Cole Richardson, one of those riders to check in. But wow, believe it or not, Hunter Hart 1 minute and 17 seconds back and had nearly a 30-second gap. Well, there it is. It just updated and it says now 14 seconds. So something crazy going on there for sure. So it's a 14-second gap. I thought it was going to be longer than that. Maybe McClure's transponder didn't score right or whatever the case may be, but it was a long time before that ever updated, and I was going to be pretty surprised if that gap had opened up that much, but it hasn't. It's 14 seconds back to the 4th place position, and Jared McClure is on the move and on the hunt. Can he see a piece of that podium before the checkers fly on this one? Stick around to find out. We've got a lot of questions to answer here on GNCC Live.
We all have our reasons to accomplish, to work hard. We share a common goal, to be the best. Keep fighting, put in the work, never take the easy way. Your drive and determination fuels our passion.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment. Whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Ben Kelly here, 2021 GNCC champion. Subscribe to Racer X and get yourself a fresh FMF t-shirt.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
When you push the right button, they work a lot better anyway. Welcome back to GNCC Live on Racer TV. Rodney Tomlin, Mikey Waynes, and old Hardcore Harvey himself in here with us. And, of course, we take a look back to 1 year ago. Walker Fowler getting off to the early lead, a little bump and grind there with the sneaky snake. Jared McClure running the number 4 last year, if you remember. And what a day, as you recall. Walker Fowler was once again the rider to beat out there, and the rider that was laying chase was none other than V. Neal, Bryson Neal. Put himself in a great position as he rode virtually bumper to grab bar through a good part of this race. We see these riders here at this point, about the midway point. Bryson Neal gets out of the pits first. He has the lead in this one, but Walker Fowler is right on his rear grab bar. So the scenario flopped around on this one. And after this is when things got a little bit different whenever the finish finally came around. But it was good racing up to that point. What happened to Bryson Neal was he got into, well, a little bit of of a tangle that looks like there with Walker Fowler, and then he gets into a tangle with some lap traffic, gets booted off the racetrack and into a F-150 pickup truck, drops back to third or fourth place position, I think. I have to go back and look at the results for sure, but amazingly was able to finish. But that was the last time we saw Bryson Neal in 2021, and he came back this year at Camp Coker and was able to take a very convincing win, and has now amassed 4 wins on the season, and is also hoping for number 5, but he's looking for 4 in a row here today.
You know, it's interesting, Rodney. There's 2 ways to look at that. That was the end of the season for Bryson Neal, but I think that was also chapter 1 of the beginning of what could be
the comeback.
The comeback.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, definitely it's a comeback, but could be 2022 championship run.
Yeah, because it seemed like talking to him, it almost, even though it was difficult to wait like he did,
Wow.
It almost lit a fire under Bryson to take that next step to put himself where he is right now.
Yeah, he got the chisel out and he carved the mental toughness, that's for sure, and it's showing now. And Walker Fowler out front, Bryson Neal in the number 2 spot, as we saw just behind him. It just went through on screen right there.
Was he on his tail?
He was on his tail. Like, he was all over him like Russian radiation.
Well,
that was payback for our producer, Adam Gordon.
Yeah, well, he yelled in my ear, man. I think my headphones went like this.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I think he got a little bit excited, and rightfully so. Yeah.
You're
there
good.
you go.
You're good.
yeah. So, man, what a good reason to be excited, though, because this is the reason we tune in on Racer TV. This is the reason that we make it to the racetrack to come watch these races as race fans. And this is the reason why we stick around if we race at 11 o'clock, because we want to see this kind of stuff right here.
It's been awesome. I mean, it's been such a great year watching those 2 battle, and at this point, it's like we made this joke after the first couple of rounds, like, hey, if these guys just want to sort of trade off wins and we take this thing to Ironman, nobody's going to be mad about it. And right now, Bryson's won the 3 in a row, but if Walker bounces back with a win, now we're back in that conversation again of going back and forth. And I got a feeling that they're just whetting our appetite for when we go into summer break and we come back, we'll be ready to roll.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to be interesting is what the mood will be like after this race today. I mean, either way it goes, no matter how it breaks down, what the mood is going to be like. It's going to be very interesting. Either you're going to have a very high-hoped and high on the hog Walker Fowler, who literally is walking on sunshine and walking on air, basically, when he gets done with this one, or you're going to have a rather serious, and I don't want to say demoralized, but a very a champion that has his
concern.
Concern. He may be starting to feel like he's backed up against the ropes a little bit at this particular. Even though he's not against the rope, he's taken a couple steps back, maybe at this particular point. Now, will it be as a big a factor for Bryson Neal if he comes up second? I don't think the outcome will weigh as heavy either way for Bryson Neal, because what it's going to do, it's going to pad his points. He's going to be satisfied. He's going to be confident, and it's going to add to what he's already got going on. If he loses it, okay, so, and especially if he finishes second, all right, so I lost a few points in this one, but, we got time to make these back up, and I still got the points lead.
Absolutely.
So it's a whole different mindset how this one finishes for each one of these riders. And Walker Fowler, either way, is going to have the strongest reaction, I believe.
I think, you look at this round 7 of a 13-round race series. This is that pivotal round when you're in a championship battle, and right now it's a 6-point spread, but it is really flip a coin between these two right now. I think whoever comes away from today with the win, whether it's Fowler or Neal, I think they get a little bit of momentum, not just in the points regard, but I think mentally as well. Like, hey, we're over the hump now of the season, and it's time to go to work.
Yeah, because listen, when these two guys as close as they are, both in speed and in points, I mean, you can go back to round 7 at the end. I mean, that was the key.
Oh, here was the moment.
Exactly.
We didn't realize it, but it's something else. And I think another big one too. You go back for Bryson. That Rodney, we talked. Hey, it's going to be. And Jeff, you and I, we talked about it. First guy to finish off the box. Well, Bryson Neal right now, he's looking at it as, I got the points lead, but I just keep going back to that third place finish. Outside of that, Walker's been 1-2, 1-2, and I've been 1-2 and a 3. That little nagging third place right there, that could come back to haunt him. He's doing what he needs to do now, though, to make sure it doesn't. But nonetheless, it could become a factor.
Plus, you got to think about the pressure this puts on the pit crews and the mechanics and all that, because
no room for error.
I mean, yeah, because if there's a DNF or a mechanical, that pretty much takes care of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I mean, surprisingly, both these riders seem to have bulletproof programs.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And to think that, you know, and it takes that. I mean, Chad Whelan, a proven point on the ATV moto side of things with what he's been able to accomplish with his consistencies and maintaining his equipment. And same thing for Walker Fowler. I mean, what we've seen with consistency out of him. And now Bryson Neal, you know, I think Bryson probably, I mean, I know he has motor guys and stuff like that, but I think he does a lot of his own prep, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this weekend, into the race weekend.
Yep, he does. He does. He actually sent me a message earlier in the week, and when he rolled out the brand new, you know, got a brand new bike for today. So I mean, he's turning all his own wrenches. I know he's super happy with his shock package. He mentioned that several times about how, you know, how much that had been a key part of his success.
Casey Greek was high on him when I was ATVMX. Ran into Casey first time in a while, and he was, hey, Bryson Neal. And I said, yeah, let's talk about Bryson Neal. So, it was kind of funny. Casey Greek told me, and he'll probably get the word of this and be like, Mikey, I told you that in confidence, but hey, you know what? I'm the TV guy, so here we go, Casey. Here we go, battle on screen. Oh, getting a little bit of air right there. And Hardcore, you're on it. I don't think Bryson Neal's wanting to sit there in the 2 spot anymore. He's going for it.
Yep, I think he wants to make a move this lap and then give the opportunity on lap 5.
Well, I think it's this lap traffic. It's called. Look at the riders that they just came through. There is a string of riders that's got to be at least 10, 12 riders deep coming through there. And so what he's thinking is, I can't afford to have this happen. I mean, lap traffic is what caused this issue. Got him out of the championship hunt last year, so he wants to try to get around Walker and try to get around as many of those lap riders as he can to keep that buffer in there. Battle for the lead here as we're watching from the Yamaha live drone, Mikey Waynes, and will Bryson Neal pull the trigger and try to make a pass in here? We've seen him pull these kind of rabbits out of his sleeves on more than one occasion, guys, and right now in these wide open woods. There's a lot of lines out here in these woods in Ohio.
Going back real fast to the Casey Greek thing, he said he took video of that post-race interview, I think when Walker, might have been that first time he got that second place to Bryson, and Walker made the mention on Racer TV, I'm going to come back, I'm going to go to the drawing board, I'm going to come back, I'm going to whip some butt.
Yeah.
You know, ASS in the big boy terms. Casey took a video. He said, man, I text that to Bryson Neal every single day. And I said, here's your motivation. Here's your motivation. So maybe that's what Bryson Neal's got in the back of his head right now. And all in good competition and good sportsmanship for those guys. There's no bad blood. But I thought it was kind of cool that, you know, getting that extra little motivation. And I think right now the only motivation Bryson Neal needs is to see that number 1 right in front of him. And he's like, I'm going to go and get him. But boy, Walker Fowler knows that he is all over the throttle trying to kick up as much dust as possible and make it not clear vision for Bryson Neal.
So I promise you right now in these corners, Walker can hear that motor behind
No
him.
doubt.
So, you know, that weighs on you also.
Wow. Look how much different they are in the distance between them. Remember one lap ago, Harvey, whenever they were coming in, they could see each other from one side to the other. Now there's literally just a few feet that separate them. Into these winding woods again, and you know, again, a lot of opportunities for open lines and so forth. But I think the one thing, and I recall and remember from doing track reconstruction and going out and reclaiming the track, and also riding in UTV races in years past. That's a pretty open area of the racetrack. That area right there, I mean, it's like a highway down through there, and you can reach speed 60, 70, and if it maybe 80 miles an hour if your machine's capable of it.
Yeah, particularly that section they're in right now, because those aren't real sharp chicanes they're coming through, so you can pretty much stay on the throttle and just use your body to move the bike around. And so they don't even have to lift.
Whoa, look at
Here
this.
we go.
Bryson Neal has pulled up. Sorry, Harvey.
No, you're good.
He had dove right in on the rear grab bar. He nearly reached out and grabbed a hold of that rear grab bar of Walker Fowler's as they rolled through the Pro Pits, the GBC Tires, VP Fuels Pro Pits, I guess I should say. They did their GBC Pro Pit stop there a lap or two
little
ago.
different line.
Yeah.
Man, and now you're right. He is after Walker Fowler, and this race is on now, folks, as we are.
Hey, somebody get Jeff Russell out there to clear out all those trees, man. We gotta see this.
We're 6 minutes away from the finish line right now, an hour and 35 minutes into this race. And I think they're only getting the white flag this time when they come around. We've got a whole lap of this to go through, and this is going to get super exciting. Somebody got some blood pressure medicine? I'm gonna need it, man. I don't have heart problems, but I may have some blood pressure problems whenever this is all said and done today.
I think that was them right there. And boy, they are in the thick of some lap traffic too. And Harvey, you probably know better than us. I mean, is there a place for the lap traffic to get out of the way in these sections?
So in this section, there actually is. So I don't think they'll play a factor right here, but I was telling Rodney earlier, there's a couple sections out there that are just flat out. There's nowhere for a lap to go.
And that's completely understandable.
So if there is a gap, it's going to bunch them right back up.
Fowler, Neal, the battle is on here in Ohio. The Ohio boys are going at it on the home turf. Who's going to own this racetrack when it's all said and done? There's Fowler. Man, he is. He is. I mean, like an arrow coming through there.
So they're one bobble away from a pass.
Yeah.
I mean, just one.
Yeah, one mistake.
Overshoot a corner by a foot, and B. Neal's going to make the pass, or if B. Neal overshoots a corner, Walker's going to go to a 5-second lead instead of a 3-second lead.
And it matters at this point. It really, really does, because it plays heavy on the mind, which plays heavy on the body and soul, which is going to be needed. You're going to need all the strength and every ounce of anything you can drum up here on this last lap. Why? Because as we are approaching about 4 minutes out, we would have been about 20 minutes short of this one. So we're going to be about 2 hours and probably 5-10 minutes after this one's all said and done, guys. But going over that 2-hour mark still going to be a tough one. But as much as anything, even though it's not a time factor, the idea of the amount of laps you're running plays as heavy a burden on these riders as anything, because mentally they are used to running normally 4 laps. So when you throw that 5th lap, even if the laps are shorter, it seems to be so much more.
Yeah, because all riders have 1 or 2 places in the track where they just, for whatever reason, struggle. And so when you have to hit that one more time, that's an opportunity for you to make a mistake. And again, in this you can give it away, or you can win with that one bobble. So, Mikey, I have a question for you.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm ready.
Is there a chance that B. Neal is putting a Chris Borich effect on right here?
Oh, hey, if it is, I'm ready to see it, because if that happens, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna shut up, because if this is Rodney's last season, I want to hear him give that race call, because that just gave me cold chills thinking about those old Walker, Fowler, and Borich days, and Boriching Fowler in the end. Hey.
Well, Fowler wasn't the only person that got Borich.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Taylor Kaiser got Borich.
Yeah.
William Yoakley got Borich.
Right.
Bill Ballance got Borich a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
To the tune of 75 times.
Exactly.
So
he made a resume out of it.
That's an interesting point to ponder on, Harvey. There's no doubt about it. But he's got himself in that position now. Whether he's thinking that, I don't know. Yep. I mean, he's trying to stick wheels in there now, trying to go for that pass. So right now, I'm going to say no. But if it tends to linger on through a good part of this last lap, then I'm going to start agreeing with it. That would be cool. I mean, to pull something like that off, especially on if you pulled a Borich move off on Walker Fowler, working on his 8th championship. Yep. Wow, what would that say about your credit, man?
That's strong.
I just thought
that's a resume builder.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
It's been a minute when we've seen it. Walker changed the game, though, right? I mean,
he did.
Borich, lay low, and then white flag comes out. All right, time to go to work. And Walker was just like, hey, I'm going to take the opposite approach. I'm going to try and get out front early and run away with them. And I
hate
crazy.
I hate to bring up bad memories for Chris Borich, but if you remember back around that time, he'd made the switch to the Yamaha and he made the switch back over to the Suzuki. And people have been talking about the pace. The pace is quick, and the pace is so much faster. Chris, can you hang on to it? Can you ride that pace? Can you ride that pace? And Chris was adamant saying that the pace has not quickened. I just have to readjust to my bike. But I think as time has gone on, we've seen that Chris may have been mistaken in that factor.
Well, if the pace didn't quicken, it definitely quickened for longer. So instead of running that pace on the last lap, now you're running it for all 5 laps.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
when you talk to Walker Fowler, it's all out. He's saying he's going as fast as he wants to go. He says, I can go faster. I just don't want to go any faster.
Yeah, I think we see that on 4-wheel and 2-wheel, and you know, not to beat a dead horse in the injuries on the 2-wheel side, but you got to think, like, as our race has changed, GNCC has changed. It used to be, hey, it's a 2-hour marathon essentially for ATVs, and it's a 3-hour marathon for bikes. Forget it. It's a 2-hour sprint. It's a 3-hour sprint now. Now, yeah, some guys you can exert too much early, and you know they get to that hour and a half or 2-hour mark, whatever the race is, and they got nothing left in the tank. But for the guys that are winning championships, they seem to just never run out of gas in the physical tank.
I'll tell you, it's mind over matter a lot of times. Confidence has a lot to do with it, and being able to stay calm in some of these high-risk situations. As we've learned through the science and diet, heart rate is a big key issue and a critical issue. And even though riders of the days of old maybe didn't realize that that's what they were doing when they were so comfortable on their bikes and riding the way they did, they were able to maintain their heart rates and so forth. So right now, that's going to be critical for both these riders. I mean, we're in a position for both Walker Fowler and for Bryson Neal. Both are. We just got an update that Bryson Neal is in the lead. Now, what I'm alluding to is the fact that both these riders are pushing themselves in times and in areas that maybe that they weren't expecting to. As there is our new leader, and he's got quite a bit of a lead. You know, will it affect these guys in the end as far as their physical fitness? But I tell you, Bryson Neal doesn't seem to be affected. And call it a borch, call it a whatever you want. I call it, where did Walker Fowler go, is what I want to know. So evidently Walker has ran into some sort of an issue, whether he be stuck, whether he be off the bike. All we know right now is that Bryson Neal is our new leader, and we're not getting word one from any of our spotters that Walker is on his way in. White flag is out now for Bryson Neal, and I'll tell you, he doesn't seem to be in a sense of urgency right now. So obviously he knows that he's got that comfort zone. Did something happen out there? Did he see Walker make a mistake? And we are watching right now the hill climb shots for if and when Walker does come through. We're not hearing any reports as of yet of anything gone awry, but the big question is, where is Walker Fowler? Does he have a mechanical issue? Did he go down? What's the problem?
I gotta tell you, Rodney, to steal one from you, waiting with bated breath, that woman right there on screen, Vicky Fowler, her breath is as bated as anybody's right now, no doubt about that.
Absolutely, waiting for her son Walker Fowler to check in, and these are not times that she's used to, folks. I can tell you that right now.
I just worried that we were just talking about the speed and how everything has changed. If these
last year,
if these guys do take an accident, you just worry that it's not.
Hunter Hart is up to second place, is what the reports that we are getting. So whatever it is, I'm hoping for mechanical issue for Walker Fowler at this particular point. I don't want to take anything away from his program, but we definitely don't want any physical issues with him either. Is Hunter Hart, who was a minute and 17 seconds back, is now checking in the number 2 spot as he has gotten around Walker Fowler. And again, like you said, we are waiting with bated breath. We're just wondering and anticipating what this call is going to be and what kind of news we are going to get about Walker Fowler and where he is and what's going on. Jared McClure is up to third, so we know whatever it is, it's pretty monumental at this particular point. Now, we didn't see Bryson stop. He didn't say anything to anybody. So that leads me to believe that there's probably not an issue in that sense for Walker Fowler.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just a mechanical issue at this particular point, or he's clipped a tree and broke a tie rod or something along those lines.
Actually, Bryson hesitated as he went through the finish and talked to one of the just briefly said
did he?
something.
Okay.
But I mean, it might have been he's okay. You know, what I mean,
Yeah. So white flag is out on this one.
So the sneaky snake may end up
with a podium.
Getting to where we thought he might be.
Ridiculous.
Wow, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart.
Was that Galata? Was that the 7-1-2?
Jared McClure into third now. And we may have John Galata
I think
up to the number 4 spot.
My goodness. So, yeah, as we sit here and watch this, Rodney's going to try and get a report. That was a chest protector, white chest protector, but I'm not 100% sure that was Walker. I don't think it was. So trying to get a report on Walker from the track crew to see what's going on out there. But nonetheless, don't think we've seen him yet through this 10-mile marker. And meanwhile, your XC1 riders coming through what seems like every 30 seconds, and seconds to us feel right now to Walker Fowler like minutes.
I mean, this is exactly what we talked about. A DNF or a mechanical changes the whole thing.
No doubt. And just like that third place that Bryson was so worried about, he's saying, my bad day was not such a bad day now.
Yep.
And now Walker Fowler, if you're him, I don't care how many wins you got, how many championships, you have to realistically be thinking, my goodness, this might be my season right here. I've got to get this thing going.
Yep.
Well, good news is we're not hearing anything bad, and that's generally good news. No riders are coming by and saying anything, stopping any of our officials or anything like this. We are getting reports that someone is needing a tow, but from what I understand, that's out near checkpoint 1, which would not be near this 10-mile marker from what I understand. So I don't think that's Walker. So we're still waiting right now, guys, and I'm going to listen for a few more moments to see what we can bring in here. So again, guys, like I said, checkpoint 1, I don't think that has any effect on this. So I think let's keep it here if we can for just a second, Adam, because we'll give it just about.
So you can even tell with the people standing around that
everybody.
The look is like, what's going on?
You see the head turn to the left. Okay, that's not Walker. Yep. That's not Walker. Man, where is he? Well, yeah, that's an interesting point. I was talking before you guys joined us in the booth about 4 losses in a row. Well, we didn't have to go back that far as 2020. However, Walker didn't race the last 2 rounds. He'd wrapped the championship up. That was the year he lopped his finger off.
Right.
So he was, in chill mode, championship chill mode. If you go back before that, last time he lost 4, 2014.
That was the year.
Last time. And go ahead.
That was the year it came down to the final turn at the Ironman GNCC.
Yeah.
I tell you, a day that will obviously live in infamy for Walker Fowler and a day of glory for Chris Borch, as that was one of the greatest finishes to racing.
That was one of the best. That was just absolutely
insane.
Walker Fowler, I mean, when he was first racing with the Balance Racing crew, he and Taylor Kaiser had some mechanical issues through mapping issues a couple of different times. But, thinking about it, I don't recognize or remember any major mechanical issues that Walker Fowler has had.
Yeah,
at least his 7 championships.
It's crazy you say that, because I think the last time I heard Walker Fowler frustrated, I might have been last year. I don't think it was this year. I think it was last year, where he was just frustrated with, in his words, mechanical issues, but he was still like 2nd or 3rd on the day. Right. So everybody else from an outside perspective is like, dude, you didn't have mechanical issues. But that pursuit of perfection, if you will, in his head, he did have issues. But yeah, situations like this, no, I can't remember this ever.
So Mikey, you like trivia.
Let's go.
So when's the last time you think Walker Fowler's had a tow hook thrown around his bumper?
Where's Jared Bolton? I would say probably youth days, and probably 2-wheel youth days, or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
because he used to do both.
I don't think I've ever seen him towed in.
There goes Adam. Adam McGill, sorry.
Oh.
You've got, I mean, it's a situation there, and that's part of the success, especially now, is you can't, all right, hey, if I want to be a contender, I cannot have mechanicals, I cannot get hurt. I have to make sure I'm lining up at every single race, and I see the checkered flag on my machine. If I can do that, and the rest is on me. The rest is on how I ride my machine and how my bike is set up by my mechanic. And you take away any one of those elements, and suddenly you go from a podium guy to now you're, a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place guy.
Yeah, like the pro thing that you don't have any drops is such a game changer with trying to win a championship.
Huge.
And that's huge here today. We were talking about that little number 3 that was plaguing Bryson Neal just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Look what's going to be happening after this, because right now, folks, I mean, unless a miracle happens at this particular point, or we've really been psyched out and completely missed Walker Fowler, I mean, this is going to be a game changer. I mean, we're not talking 3 points. We're not talking 5 points. We're not talking 10 points. We're probably going to be looking at somewhere in the neighborhood. If Fowler even finishes in the top 20 overall today, that could be a 30-point swing in the favor of Bryson Neal today.
They don't get any points if they're not at least in the top 20.
Right. Yeah, he has to, and I'm sure that at this point is what's going through his mind is, hey, Mark, where am I at? Do I have a shot at a top 20? Because if not, let's send this thing home. But if I got a chance at a point, let me get back out there.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, guys. He has already dropped back as far as 15th place overall. He is currently sitting 15th with 3 laps. Steve Harrell sits 14th overall with 4 laps. Ronnie Rush, if and when Ronnie checks in, Dylan Walraven, Daniel Peterson, those guys all go around. All of a sudden, that bumps Fowler all the way back to 20th place overall. One more goes by, he's out of the point chase today.
Yeah. Hey, let's put something in perspective here, right? I mean, we have not Chris Borch still out there racing with us, but he is not the Chris Borch of old, right? But the guy's got 75 wins, and we've sat here for several years now and watched Walker Fowler, and man, he's going to blow Chris Borch out of the water. And now suddenly that 70 to 75 looks a whole lot bigger, and I think you got to pay. There's Bryson Neal on screen. It sounds like Walker Fowler just checked through. Adam, Gordon, Bryson Neal. Okay. But now it puts in perspective to me how great a career Chris Borch has had.
Absolutely.
It puts, for folks that weren't around watching TV back then or at the races, how great Chris Borch was in those years.
If I'm hearing the track crew right, they're saying that Walker Fowler has been spotted near the 9-mile marker in a creek bed someplace.
Oh no. There's still,
but there's still that's not complete confirmation yet. So wherever he's at, he's got himself tucked away pretty good, it sounds like. And
well, there are some places down there coming in and out of that bottom that, if you're pushing that hard, you can overshoot the corner. You can put yourself down over the bank into the creek.
And there are some drop-offs down there, like you said. And if that's the case, and he went over the hill and down in the creek, then it could be tough to get out of there. Like you said, I mean, those are steep embankments to get up and out of. And we don't know that that's the case. We're just kind of speculating. He's made it. Now he's made it to the starting line. So that's down over the hill. I think the 9. It's down over the hill from the starting line region down there, so he's up at the top of the hill now with a broken chain. He got a broken chain. He's trying to get a new one. So you asked the question, how long has it been since he's been on the hook? Well, he's not going on the hook today either, so he's came up out of the woods. He's at the start trying to get a chain. And for you folks that are wondering, and you might be wondering, is that legal? Yes, it is legal. You are allowed to go back. You are allowed to work on your bike. The only thing that the pros are required to do in the pits is fuel. And that's the only thing that they are required to do in their pits is refuel. And if they do happen to run out of gas outside the pro pits, they are allowed to obtain fuel outside the pro pits, but only sufficient enough to get to the pro pits where they must stop and refuel. basically, Walker Fowler's in a good position. All he's got to do is get that chain back on and get rolling back into this race. Will it be enough? Will he be able to still secure a top 20 overall? Right now, he sits in 19th overall. Daniel Peters is by in 18th place. Tanner Walker would be the next rider to go by from that 20th place position overall.
So, Rodney, the question is, too, is like, what if he gets a new chain on there? I mean, he still has to re-enter the woods kind of where he came out.
He must, yes, exactly. He must re-enter the race course where he left it and resume his race from that particular point on. But the thing about it is, at this point, you know, we've already pointed out, it's a matter of not getting on the podium. It's not a matter of getting a top 10. It's a matter of scoring at least 1 point. And talk about 1 point. I mean, past champions and even greats like Caleb Russell can tell you that 1 point can mean the world as far as the championship is concerned. So, and Walker recognizing and realizing that as well, I'm sure is trying to do everything that he can to try to score that 1 point. So the good news is that Walker Fowler is not hurt. The bad news is that he is losing positions minute after minute after minute as we update the scenario right now. According to my calculations and timing and scoring, still has him scored at 19th place overall, Harvey. So it sounds like the rest of that field outside the top 20 is spread out quite a bit, and that could play favor for Walker Fowler.
It could. We talked earlier about how, you know, here we are round 7. You could look back at the end of the season, and round 7 could be the thing that either got you the championship or cost you the championship. And, you know, like you're saying right now, he'd get 2 points for 19th place, I believe, and 1 point for 20th. Could come down to that. Could be a huge deal.
It most certainly could. And right now, it is Tanner Walker is checked in the 19th place position. Fowler is still sitting 20th overall, but he still has not checked in with that 4th lap complete. A lot of it's going to hinge how quickly can he get that chain on there, and how many riders are going to go by on time adjustments, and then he's got to put his head down and just try to do what he can. That's all he can do. There's nobody he's going to be racing but himself and the clock at that point.
No, but he'll definitely probably be pushing at that point to try to do anything he can to salvage, you know, a couple places.
Oh, absolutely. As we are now an hour and 50. Remember, 4th lap, 5th lap. That's big difference.
Absolutely. 4th lap, he would have
won this.
He would have won this thing.
Yep.
Wow. I believe that's B. Neal coming through now.
No, he wouldn't have won it either, because that was at the end of the 4th lap that it happened on.
That's right. Yeah.
So this 5th lap doesn't have any bearing on it, other than him trying to get back out there. It does give him a little bit more a chance to maybe make that up. So yeah, it does, but it's playing in his favor now.
Well, that scenario sounded good, though.
It did. It did, and it's still a good way to look at it as well.
So B. Neal just came through there at the 6 mile marker, I believe.
Johnny Gallagher just pushed Walker Fowler outside the top 20, taking the 20th place overall position. I mean, that's the guy that ruined his perfect season. Will this be the guy that keeps him from getting that 1 point in this championship battle? Man, wouldn't that be a good ribbing for those guys between those two?
Team Yamaha brothers, and they've got these 2 seasons where the same guy ruined it for him twice.
That's interesting. We'll just have to wait and see. An hour and 57 minutes into this race right now. We're still 10 minutes out from a checker, and though as much as we'd like to say this one belongs to Bryson Neal, it's still not over yet for him either, Harvey, because we know, and you know as well as I do, I mean, so much can, and we've seen it. Just recognize that in the last 10 or 15 minutes ourselves. A lot can happen in 10 minutes.
Yep, and some of this section they're going through right here, I mean, there's just rocks that get kicked up. You never know, just like happened to Walker. You know, B. Neal could clip a rock, break it. Same thing. I mean, it could happen to him also, but he's definitely in control right now.
Control is a good place to be, and it's certainly good. This is going to be 4 race wins in a row, 5 for the championship season so far, and it's going to extend Bryson Neal's point lead. We're not talking by 5 points. We're not talking by 3 points. We're not talking by 10. We could see this go as far as maybe 25 or 30 points even, Harvey.
Yep. That's going to be a big swing right there, man. That's
and even for Walker Fowler, that's going to be a deep hole to dig out of.
Well,
A lot of the other guys are thinking, well, that's the same hole Walker's had us in for years.
Right. Touche.
Yeah.
There you go,
Yeah.
Walker. Eat that. Yeah, and you know, and I'm sure some folks, and even probably Bryson himself will have that sense of feeling himself. But you know, the good thing about it is Bryson won't revel in that too much, because he knows that there's 6 more rounds of racing to go after this one.
No, and I still think that even if it doesn't work out and B. Neal wins the championship, I think you're going to see Walker rally. I still think you're going to see that happen. I don't think that this is going to be that we're going to see B. Neal run away with races now. I think Walker was going to. He's got the mentality. He's going to put in the work. He's going to do everything that's necessary to put himself back up front.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see what we saw through the first 3.5 laps of this race.
Yep.
Those guys doing their classic matchup, battling and squaring off against one another, and just unfortunate for Walker Fowler, a broken chain. But you know, you got to think, what causes a broken chain? Those don't happen very often. But man, there's some rocks down there.
Yep.
Big rocks, and if he was in a creek, that right there could explain it in and of itself.
If he overshot that corner and got down in the creek and was trying to find a way out, I mean, more than likely that's definitely what probably created the broken chain situation.
So rocks are definitely not your friend. Sand is not your friend when it comes to a chain either. I've seen sand bind up chains before and break them on more than one occasion.
Yep.
Chad Weenan being one in particular at Redbud a few years ago. The first time he finished off the podium, I think it was like in 9 seasons or something like that. It was something crazy. He did have one other race since then that he's finished off the podium, but.
So I know this is probably not how this guy would prefer it, but definitely encouraged to see Hunter Hart look like he's going to make the podium today.
Absolutely. And you know, as much as anything, you know, Harvey, you've heard the story before. You know, you create your own luck, and in this circumstance, that's exactly what Hunter Hart has done. He's put himself in a position to take advantage of someone else's misfortunes and or bad luck, or whatever you want to call it. And when people say, you create your own luck, that's the kind of things that they're talking about. You know, you work hard, you keep your head your nose to the grindstone, and you keep focused, and you keep your head moving forward, and you just keep doing the things that are making you successful, and then eventually it falls into place for you. And you know, granted, hey, you know, Walker Fowler had an issue, but guess what? Hunter Hart didn't. So
right.
Hunter Hart straight up beats Walker Fowler today.
And Hunter had to put himself in a position where he was there to take advantage of the situation. You know, and Hunter's one of the most disciplined young men that I've been around a long time. When you talk to him, I mean, his regiment and you know, he just does not go away from the things that he knows has gotten him to this point. And you know, where other guys mean, I'll have that pizza or whatever. Hunter Hart's saying, nope, no, that's not going to work.
And you know, remarkably, that one piece of pizza, as scientific, I guess I should say, as these guys' diets are, it really does make an effect. I mean, Grayson Eller, who's an XC2 Pro-Am rider, may be one of the most knowledgeable nutritionists there is out here on the line. I know he's having some struggles coming back from his knee injury and things like that. I mean, but you know, there's a few other elements going on. But when it comes to nutrition, he knows when, he knows what time, how much, what you need to put in, and not only the day of the race, but the day before the race and the week before the race. I mean, it's a science. He marks down every little thing, and he knows, you know, if I vary on this, then it's going to affect me at the hour and 32-minute mark, or maybe not quite hour and 32 minutes.
Right.
But he knows precisely about where it's going to start affect. It's crazy how it works.
Yeah, and those guys know that that's not part of the game.
But you know what's remarkable is there's some guys that can still rise above that. Guys like Stu Baylor might be a guy, or even, I mean, I would like to say even Adam McGill. You know, I'd like to see more consistency out of him. But, you know, I mean, for a guy as fast as he isn't one of those scientific diet kind of guys. He has been at times in his life, and it's shown when he was.
But you know, with Gator, he, even though maybe not with the diet and stuff, but he is fairly disciplined with that as well, that he continually looks for different ways to train. just like down at the track down at his house. Like, you know, we used to go out and ride on Tuesdays, and we would just go try to put in like an hour and 15. And now we're going to get down there. We're doing kind of some different stuff. We're doing some sprint training. We're doing 3 20-minute segments as hard as we can go for 20 minutes with like an 8-minute break in between each segment, get a bottle of water, but then you go right back out and you push again. So, you know, Adam's constantly looking for ways to either get the speed back or get more consistent in his training.
And you could see, I mean, it tells. I mean, some days you wonder what happened to Adam out there, but it's not. Oftentimes, it's little fluke things like mechanical issues that he is faced with, and we got to take it. I mean, as much as he appreciates and loves the Honda, and as much as he knows the Honda, we have to take into consideration that machine's a little older. It's a little more finicky, and they're a little harder to come by. And there's a lot of things that weigh against you when you're riding on a Honda to keep consistent. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some guys that can make it happen, but you can't take away what Yamaha's been able to do out here.
So, absolutely.
Maybe, and the thing about it is, Adam is one of those guys. He's not going to do it just simply because he's not going to. He may want to deep down inside, and he may know it might be the right choice, but because he's sticking to his guns, and he's going to push right, and he does a great job on that machine too. For what it is,
I promise you, we're probably going to ride the Hondas right to the bitter end,
and that's okay. You need those kind of diehards. You know, I mean. You talk about loyalty, and what happens if Honda does decide to come back? They've got one of the most brand loyal riders that they could have ever had right there. Well, continuing to wait on the leaders. Haven't got any updates yet on Walker Fowler. I do see that Lane McCormick has now taken over Johnny Gallagher's spot, so at least Johnny won't have those accolades of being able to pull that off. Let's see as we go down now. So far, 4 laps down. We're way down here, guys. We are way down here right now as we are looking through.
Roddy, do we still have 2 XC2 guys in the top 10 right now, with Jay Shad on 8th and B. Owens 9th, and actually Wyatt Wilkin in 10th?
Absolutely. It is. Jay Shad and Brad Owens and Wyatt Wilkin, they are 8, 9, and 10, running 1, 2, and 3 in their class. And let's push this button right here, go a little at a time so we don't miss. Walker Fowler is still not checked in, but is all the way back to at least 36th place. Jeff, I have to think, even with getting that chain and seeing that our leaders are due in about a minute, it's not going to happen. You know, I mean, I think it's a busted deal. But wow, what a ride today for B. Neal, man. I mean, the ride that dreams are made of. He starts out, I mean, literally, dude, I don't know that those guys passed on that first lap. That was the way they went into the woods, that tight wood section right off the bat. Well, as tight as it could be here at John Penton. But right off the start, they were just like that when they came out. When they went out of that third, fourth turn, they came around to the finish line, and then at the end of the second lap, that's when it all broke loose and things started going crazy. It was at about the 9-mile marker, and we were waiting right here. We were waiting right here a lap ago, and there is Bryson Neal making his way through as he came through in the lead. No sign of Walker Fowler, so now he has put Walker Fowler a lap down, in theory, at this particular point, Jeff. So
I think one of the key moments, too, early was that when we saw B. Neal come up on Hunter Hart, and Hunter Hart kind of let B. Neal go and tried to get on the tail and just kind of ride with him. I mean, and we saw how quickly Bryson kind of gapped Hunter right there on, and I think that was in lap 2.
Yeah, absolutely, it was, and that's whenever he was working through it. There comes Bryson Neal in now as he takes the checkers and the win, his 4th in a row here in the 2022 season, and is that 6th of the season or 5th of the season?
5th of the season.
5th of the season.
5 of 7.
5 out of 7 wins. There's not any people that can say that about racing against Walker Fowler. So there are bragging rights right there that belong to Bryson Neal that no one in the history of GNCC racing can lay claims to.
I don't think any of us at the beginning of this 2022 season would have predicted anything like this.
Well, I mean, I knew we were in for a good one. I knew we were for some excitement, and I knew we were in for some mix-ups and some shake-ups. I never expected this today, though. I'm going to tell you that. And you never know what to do. But when you start putting this into perspective, let's start doing it. Is it 30 points I think these guys get for the wins, if I'm not mistaken? And at least you add 166. You add 30 points to 166. That's 196. That's a 36-point lead.
Wow.
That Bryson Neal, unofficially at this time, right now is looking at heading into round number 8 in the second half of the 2022 season.
That's a lot of points, Rodney.
That is a lot of points. Now, what does that mean for the rest of these guys? Devin Feehan and John Glotta, even with that, had they won, still wouldn't have cut that gap in half to Walker Fowler. So Walker's still solid in the number 2 spot. Man, I tell you, any hopes of championships are fleeting. It's going to rely on that guy right there having a same kind of luck or perils today.
Bryson always looks like he'd go another lap.
He does. And I think he could always go another lap, to be honest with you. But, wow, I'm in awe. I can't say that my mouth hasn't hit the floor a couple of times today, but to think that we would be in this situation, I would have never thought it. Never. No. I would have never put my money on this. To come away, Walker Fowler scoring no points.
Yeah.
And a 36-point deficit heading into the 8th round. Wow.
I think we all expected just for the remainder of the season just to be them trading spots 1-2, 1-2.
But man, this definitely changes it, and you got to wonder, how's Bryson Neal feeling about this? He has to be probably somewhat walkered by it himself. Let's head down to the Specialized Victory Lane with Mikey Waynes talking with a very happy Bidwell Pullet.
Hey, Jeff Harvey and Rodney Tomlin just said Bryson Neal looks like he's got another lap in him, so I'm not going to tell him what you said after you came off with the 5th lap.
Well, I didn't say that because of cardio. I said that because I was just, when I saw Walker went out, you know, my red light, my hot light was coming on, and that was the longest last lap. I was thinking just like, get this bike to the finish because I'm gutted for him. You know, I want to win like that. I know how much work that goes into this, and I'm just happy for him. You know, I know he wanted today really bad. The track was really tough to pass. It's going to be really tough to get by him, and he was riding really good, and I just hated for him, you know. So I know he worked hard at it. He wants to win too, and when I went by him and I saw that, you know, he broke down, all I was thinking was just get this thing to the finish line and just bring her home. You know, this race took us out of the season last year. I was sitting right here with you a year ago and disappointed, messed up knee, front bumper all tore up, and you know, a lot of people ask me today is like, man, like, are you afraid? I don't want to talk about last year. Like, no, talk about it. It's like, it's a good thing. You know, it made me better, mentally stronger. I got good people around me. Great support. The fans today were awesome, and I'm just proud to bring this thing across the finish line, represent my sponsors, my family, my friends, everyone who came out, and I'm just super pumped.
Bryson, to put it in perspective for you, we looked back in the history books of GNCC. In 2020, Walker Fowler lost 4 in a row, but he didn't race the last 2 rounds. He sat them out. You had to go back all the way to 2014, and some guy, I believe named Chris Borich, was at least 2 or 3, if not all 4 of those wins. So you're the first guy to do this in that many years, nearly a decade, man. Has that sunk into you yet?
No, not really. You know, it's a tall task. It's a tall order because, you know, 7-time champ and like the 6-time champ Chris Borge but before him and Bill Balance before him 9 times. Each guy who's won this title, you know, multiple years in a row, they all got a heart, they all got grit, and they're all tough. And you can't take anything away from them. And I'm proud. I'm proud of my family, my friends, my sponsors, like I said, and just glad to be in this position because like a year ago, I left out of here and I wasn't sure if I was going to race again. So to be back here 1 year later, I don't know, Mikey, just super emotional. I don't know what to really say. There's so many things going through my mind right now, but I'm just super happy and proud to be representing all my people.
Well, there you go, folks. Bryson Neal, Rodney Tomlin. One day, will we be mentioning this man in the same breath as the Chris Borches, the Bill Balances, and the Walker Fowler? Your winner, Bryson Neal.
Well, I tell you, I don't know how you cannot, to be honest with you, Mikey, because, wow, I mean, he certainly has the heart and the desire that each and every one of those champions had. There's no doubt about that. And Harvey, Jeff, putting it into perspective there, this isn't the way that Bryson wanted this to go down. I mean, you could tell he is really, it is a disappointment to him. He don't want to have. He wants to win it, but to win it that way is not the way you want to do it.
Absolutely.
And even he's like he said, he's gutted. This guy right here, not so gutted. This guy right here is pretty stoked. Let's head on down with Hunter Hart and Mikey Waynes for second place interview.
A very happy Hunter Hart in second. Hunter, your buddy, Jordan Berg, he goes out. He gets the youth win this morning. You're down here chatting with him. I said, all right, listen. I had some other words, but I said, listen, Jordan Berg did his job. You go do your job today. You have some fun. I'd say today you had some fun.
Dude, it was a scorcher. I was great start. I spun a little in the first corner. We would have had that hole shot. And then WF was leading. I was like, all right, sick. Jumped in behind him. Followed behind him pretty good. Just bobbled a little bit on one of the hills. Tagged a tree. That's where I lost sight of him. And then I could hear B. Neal coming. He caught me. I didn't put much fight with him. He got me in the field section. I kind of just was like, all right, we'll tag him behind him. And he was rolling. I was keeping him in sight pretty decently. And then from there, we just kind of rode by ourselves all day. We grabbed a energy drink in the pits. And then from there, we just maintained about the 25 seconds. I could see Jared wasn't really gaining on me. And then we just got a gift on that last lap, and super bummed to see WF on the side of the trail. And that put us in second. And then we just kind of rode our own to the finish. And we're here, It's a hot one, and I'm ready to go jump in that pond.
We're going to let you jump to the pod in a second. But first, man, hey, I know it's been a season of ups and downs. Put it in perspective. From Hunter Hart's perspective, are you back?
Oh, buddy, we at the local last weekend, we were ripping, and we felt like ourselves again, and that's just what we were missing. And then something just clicked. I can't describe what it is, how it happens. There's Shorty right there. And it just I just felt something click, and then from there I was like, all right, it's time to go. And we were able to just put it together and just rip with it. And damn it, I'd say we're not there yet, but we're close.
Love to hear it. There you go, folks. Your second place finisher, Hunter Hart.
There he is. I tell you what, a second place finish, a good strong finish for him, and maybe a good momentum builder for him too, Jeff, as we roll into now would be heading into the second part of the championship season through the midway swing here. Right in the dead middle of it right now, and we'll start swinging into the second half here soon as fans are gathered around, and I'm sure there's still a lot of them scratching their head in wonder and amazement as
well, I tell you, Rodney,
what happened.
Back to you were kind of talking about B. Neal and no in whatever athletics, no champion wants to have an asterisk beside any championship. So B. Neal would have rather this been something where they battled down to the last tree today and then battled out the rest of the season. But keep in mind, just like we're talking today, round 8, B. Neal could throw a change. I mean, the exact same thing could happen.
The tides could turn
and
real fast.
It could change almost instantly. And, Hunter Hart there, we talked with Hunter on our show a couple times, and Hunter just said, I just need something to click. I just need something to get us. And I think it seems like both mentally and just kind of hearing him talk, I think he feels like that's happened.
Felt like it clicked for him. Looked like it clicked. We got a second-place position finish for him. And Jared McClure takes the third. He's with Mikey Waynes.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Jared McClure, he tells me, he's like, dude, I thought I got fourth. That's why I'm all the way over here hanging out. But no, hey, I'm here to tell you, Jared McClure, the sneaky snake, you picked off a P3 here today.
Awesome, man. That last lap, that's all I was working for, the podium. Thought I was in fourth, and, Caitlin was giving me pit boards, and she said she had the place on there, but, man, I was just paying attention to the time. I was like, she was giving me 20 seconds, 15. Like, I was just watching the time, like, trying everything I had to get on the box, and came through, like, a little bitter. Like, man, dug deep for that one and didn't even pay off. But to my surprise, here we are. So, I mean, hell, I guess they said Walker broke a chain. It sucks, man. You hate to see a failure. But we'll take it any way we get it.
Well, hey, we're back up north. We're up here in Ohio. I feel like we got tracks coming up that are more suitable to a Jared McClure style. So we're going to see some more of you on the box as the season progresses.
I think so. Like you said, we're up north. This is like home style tracks. The sand. I kind of struggled in the sand this year. Got my head a little jacked up, but we're back in the dirt. We're on the box. you know, it's going to take a lot to win, but, you know, we do the work. We're willing to put the work in, and just got a really, really good program. Can't say enough about the people that help me. You know, it's not so much the sponsors, it's the individual people, you know, that are in the companies that, you know, Mark Baldwin went above and beyond, got a head done for us this week. You know, it's just stuff like that. You know, Jason Stewart, he offered us a whole motor. You know, that says a lot. So, you know, it's the guys behind the scenes I want to give a shout out, and you know, thank guys like that. And then, you know, my dad's gonna be at the next one, so we're looking forward to that.
Hey, let's go get one for Pop. There you go, guys. Make some noise. Your third place finisher, the Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure.
Wow. So congratulations to Jared McClure on his third place position finish. As we check a little further back, Sean Glotta Jr. will finish up in the number 4 spot. Cole Richardson taking the number 5 position. A rather quiet 5th place ride for the Cole train today. Josh Merritt for 6th place. Jay Shadron in 7th. Brandon Owens in 8th. Wyatt Wilkin in 9th. And look at that. Able to bring himself back up into a top 10 overall after his misfortunes. Adam McGill. That's a big 10th place position finish for him today. He ought to be proud of that one. No doubt about that. As wow, what a day we've seen so far here today. And the big changes that have taken place as far as the championship point swing, and definitely makes you want more. Well, we've got more coming up tomorrow on the 2-wheel side of things, and more coming up in a couple of weeks on the 4-wheel side of things. Be sure and check out GNCCRacing.com and our schedule, and download the app on your phone as well to keep up with things all GNCC. And that'll pretty much do it for us, folks, today. On behalf of the hard-working Racer TV staff, Jeff Harvey, and, of course, my sidekick, Mikey Waynes, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day, everybody.